Man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. We just fired up the Wells Report on video thanks to YouTube live events. We just put the show up there. You can join us now if you'd like at 866-660-5759 and also at YouTube live events. If you go to my Facebook pages here in just a little bit, I've got to do this segment first. At the end of this segment, I'll put up a link so that you can join us. You do not want to miss what's about to happen. We have some sound of just a classic interaction between Ted Cruz, Secretary of State John Kerry, Defense Secretary Ash Carter, and the let me see if I can figure out what he is. There we go. Energy Secretary Moniz. Totally get nailed by Ted Cruz. Okay, and it's so amazing that even John McCain jumps in and says, "Excuse me," right in the middle of this. If you enjoy courtroom drama, this is amazing. Before we get to that, I've got a couple of phone calls here. Jim from Denton, Texas. Welcome to the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, Jon-David. I was listening earlier, and you were talking about Planned Parenthood making campaign contributions.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Why could we not try to get some kind of legislation through that says any business or organization that profits from or accepts government funding could not make campaign contributions?
Can't do it because a 501c3 can give to other 501c3s.
Well, yeah, but could we somehow get campaign contributions separated out from that and say...
You see, here's the thing. The IRS is about to get nailed to the wall for that very thing. Okay? You cannot stop a 501c3 from giving to other 501c3s. It's in the law. Okay? Yeah. You'd have to change the law, and we don't want that to happen anyway. So the thing about it is what we need to do with Planned Parenthood. I feel your pain. What we need to do with Planned Parenthood is put them out of business. It is an enterprise of evil, as Kevin Theriault said so beautifully, an enterprise of evil. If you don't take anything from this show tonight, you take that quote regarding Planned Parenthood.
Well, how many businesses or organizations out there do we have that say, well, that comes from private donations?
Sure.
Now, if they take money from the federal government, that frees up some of those private donations so they can give them as campaign contributions. They're laundering money.
I understand. And it was good enough to get to nail a Texas politician. What's his name? No. Who was it? Who was the guy who just got acquitted on appeal? Tom DeLay. There we go. It was Tom DeLay. That was exactly what they tried to nail Tom DeLay with. I understand what you're talking about. I got it. I don't know. Maybe a lawyer listening would be able to put up some information on that for us so we get you an answer.
That seems to me like the ideal approach to campaign contribution reform. You just put all these people out that are taking money from the government and turning around and giving it back to candidates that are trying to run for office.
I think you've got a point there, Jim. The only thing that I can say is that, remember, there's part of the tax code here. This is another reason why we got to get rid of this tax code. And, oh, by the way, who first started talking about reforming the tax code? Let's see, who was that guy? What was his name? Oh, yeah, George W. Bush back in the year 2000. And then he talked about it again in 2004. What would our country look like now if he had been successful in reforming the IRS back then? What a missed opportunity. Let me get to Steve. Thanks very much for joining us, Steve. Welcome to the Wells Report.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Hey, I want to make this comment, and then I'm just going to digress on this, dude. This is so excruciating to wrap my head around. But, when a guy named Adam Lamson walked into a Connecticut elementary school and slaughtered a bunch of children, a whole country wept that day. But what Planned Parenthood has been doing is even worse than that, because for one thing, they're doing it with a clear conscience. He was crazy. They're doing it for profit. And it's sickening, and it bothers me, and it drives me nuts that these liberals don't even bat an eye at that. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate it. This is hard for me. It's hard for all of us. We, the people of the United States, have suffered the endless throes of agonizing migraine headaches because of this one ridiculous topic. Since 1973, a decision made by the Supreme Court of the United States has set this nation on an endless course of stormy seas because they made the wrong decision. In Roe v. Wade, they found a right to terminate a pregnancy. But they didn't find a right to end a life. The only reason that we haven't figured out the difference between terminating a pregnancy and ending a life is because we haven't sat down as a nation and decided for all time when life begins. People say, well, it begins at conception. Well, not necessarily. It doesn't begin at conception. There is a point where it is a massive tissue. But then there's a point when it becomes a life. And it's undeniable. Now, please understand, you don't draw conclusions about what you think my politics are. I believe life begins at conception. I believe that that is the great mystery. It is the great gift of God to we human beings. It's just magic. It's the greatest thing ever. It's the greatest achievement of God, in my view, at least as far as human beings are concerned. But the die has been cast in many ways. And we need to pick the first indefatigable sign of life. In my view, just as the end of life is signaled by the stoppage of a heartbeat, even though a life can end sooner with the death or complete catastrophic malfunction of a brain, legally, it's when your heart stops. If we resolve that legally a life begins when the heart starts, then we find ourselves in a position where all of this stops. There is an opportunity for a woman to decide to terminate what may be a pregnancy. There is an opportunity for society to lift women as the guardians of new life beyond that moment and throughout the process of birth. There is a time for us to stop yanking this around our society and forcing ourselves to look at the horrors of what comes from Planned Parenthood when we don't make this definition. We would see no more of these videos, hear no more of these cavalier comments. The depravity of trading pieces of baby for money. This gives us an opportunity to stand together. Will everyone agree? I don't know. Probably not. It depends on what you're asking them to agree on. The beginning of life is a big deal. Maybe what we need to do is we need to decide when the moment of saving a life begins. Maybe we call it that. And I can't see for the life of me why anybody has to think beyond the beating of a heart in that amazing mystery of the creation of life, why that wouldn't be the beginning of a life. And be done with this. Be done with it from now and forever. Amen. Okay, I had my say. I didn't expect that to take that long. I can't play this video of Ted Cruz nailing John Kerry, Ash Carter. What's Secretary Moniz's first name? He's the Secretary of Energy. I can play a little bit of it in the next segment. Okay, I'll do that. Ted Cruz eats up all his time. This is out of Real Clear Politics, and this is basically a transcript of of what happened today in a Senate committee regarding the Iran nuclear deal. And Real Clear Politics says that Ted Cruz eats up all of his time playing word games with Secretary Kerry and making Secretary Moniz trip over his own words, then gets cut off by John McCain before he can ask Kerry to clarify what he meant by this unbelievable remark. We can do that. What we'll do is we're going to take a quick early break, and then what we'll do is we'll come back with more of this tape, or some of this tape, having to do with Ted Cruz, as reported by Real Clear Politics, running Secretary John Kerry, Secretary Moniz, and Defense Secretary Ash Carter through the Mandy as he should. Real Clear Politics may have a problem with Ted Cruz, but I assure you I do not. What you're about to hear is perfect. You don't want to miss it. It's coming up in just a couple of seconds here on 660 AM The Answer. You are listening to the Wells Report. What is this, Thursday? Yeah, for you TGIF fans, sure happy it's Thursday. It's true. Ernest Moniz, okay, Secretary of Energy, Ernest Moniz goes through the Ted Cruz wood chipper next. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy, here with the Big Boat and Outdoor Show. It's boating time, folks, so don't forget to tune in to the only boating talk show on 660 AM The Answer every Saturday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Brought to you by BoatSelect.com, the site with thousands of boats for sale, or list your boat for free on BoatSelect.com. I know you have questions about your boat or one you're buying. Email those questions to me at BigBoatShow@yahoo.com.
This is Michael at BedfordTownHall.com. Any constructive discussion of immigration issues must rely on facts, not just feelings. Unfortunately, some of the loudest voices in this debate frequently cite a number which has no basis in reality, claiming 30 million illegal immigrants in the United States. The actual number, according to all credible sources, is 11 million. It would be impossible to hide 20 million people from ruthless politicians. Democrats would find the missing illegals to build their own power with more federal funds and more representation in Congress. Under the Constitution, the House is apportioned based on the whole number of persons, end quote, in a district, not limited to citizens or legal residents. Democrats have every reason to overestimate the number of illegals, not underestimate them. 20 million more undocumented immigrants works out to 25 seats in the House of Representatives. No working politician, liberal or conservative, would ever ignore or obscure such significant numbers. I'm Michael Medved.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. You've heard me talk about it all month. Now it's time. The new Venture on Wall Street seminars in Richardson and Fort Worth, and it's this weekend. So come on, change your financial future. Get into the stock market and do better than people who don't have this training. Who's doing the training? It is Pastor David Mitchell and the new Venture on Wall Street crew, nvows.com. to learn more about how they do what they do. I learned early on that this is just a great method. There are no secrets in life, no magic dust or crystal balls. It's a risky world of investments, but they show you how to be a little smarter, do some of your own research, notice some tendencies, some things that have helped other people retire earlier, get a second income stream. It's just a wonderful group of people. New Venture on Wall Street. Learn about them at nvows.com and then get into the Richardson or Fort Worth seminars this weekend at 877-907-TRADE. 877-907-TRADE. We got a place saved just for you. 877-907-TRADE. nvows.com. 877-907-TRADE.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to urinate? Well, you're not alone. Most men will experience these prostate-related issues in their lifetime. Right now, the manufacturer of GoFlow Prostate is sending out risk-free supplies to the listeners of this station. And since GoFlow was developed by renowned MD Dr. Mitchell Fleischer, its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce frequent nighttime bathroom trips and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait, because supplies are limited. Call 1-800-668-0074. That's 1-800-668-0074 to get your risk-free supply. GoFlow Prostate is guaranteed to reduce your frequent trips to the bathroom and promote healthy urine flow. Plus, if you call right now, you'll even get free shipping with your risk-free supply of GoFlow Prostate. Dial 1-800-667-5138. Don't delay. If the phones are busy, call back. 1-800-667-5138. 1-800-667-5138.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had numerous credit cards, and I was struggling with paying them off because being a teacher, you don't make a whole lot of money.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360 to talk to a certified counselor.
I had heard about Trinity, so I made the call. They took care of all of my credit cards, and now I am completely debt-free.
Trinity will consolidate your bills, stop collections calls, stop late fees, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need them to do in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
My name is Ann, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
That's 1-800-758-5360.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. If it's important to you, we're talking about it right now on the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. I remember back in the olden days when John McCain was called a Senate maverick. It was because he would do things like, alienate himself in the Senate, saying this is ridiculous and this is stupid. Ted Cruz has picked up that mantle and is now being criticized by, of all people, John McCain. I think it's hysterical. Ted Cruz had an opportunity to discuss what was going on with the Iranian nuclear deal with Secretary John Kerry, Energy Secretary Ernest Moniz, and Defense Secretary Ash Carter. This is truly good. Listen to this.
General Soleimani, the head of the Al-Quds forces, has more blood of American service members on his hands than any living terrorist. Under this agreement, the sanctions on General Soleimani are lifted. Now, Secretary Kerry said to the families of those men and women who gave their lives, who were killed by General Soleimani, we should apologize. Secretary Carter, I understand that the Joint Personnel Recovery Agency has a classified list of roughly 500 American soldiers who were murdered by Iranian IEDs. I would ask Secretary Carter, so that we can do what Secretary Kerry suggested, that the Defense Department release that list to every member of this committee, declassify that list and release it directly to the service members' families who were murdered by General Soleimani?
Well, let me look into that and I'll get back to you, Senator.
Senator, I never said the word apology. Never mentioned apologize. I said we should thank them for their extraordinary service. I never said a word apologize. Please don't distort my words.
Secretary Kerry, it is duly noted that you do not apologize to the families of the service members who were murdered by the
Not
Iranian
what I
military.
said.
Do you apologize or not? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I
So which
thank
one is it?
them. I thank them for their extraordinary service, and I would remind them that the United States of America will never take the sanctions off Qasem and Soleimani.
So, sir, I just want clarity. Do you apologize or not? Because you wanted to clarify that point.
I said we thank them for their service, but we will not take the sanctions off Qasem and Soleimani.
All right, Secretary Moniz, I want to turn to a different question. The single greatest threat to the United States if Iran acquires a nuclear weapon is that of an electromagnetic pulse. A nuclear weapon detonated in the atmosphere over the eastern seaboard that could kill tens of millions of Americans. On July 23rd, in testimony before Congress, you told the United States Senate you hadn't read the congressionally mandated Commission on EMPs and that you didn't know what an EMP was.
That is incorrect. I said I did not know this 2008 report recommendations. I said I was quite familiar with the issue. And we all know about EMPs from airburst nuclear weapons.
Secretary Moniz,
So
let me read the
words
testimony verbatim so that I don't mischaracterize you. Senator Johnson, let me read what you said.
Please.
Senator Johnson, are you familiar with the EMPs Commission's 2008 report? No, I am not, sir. You're not? Do you know? Do you know what an EMP is? You'll have to explain it to me, please. I find that stunning. This is testimony.
That was about the report. If you read further in the testimony, you will see my explicit statement. Of course, I know about the issue. I happen to know something about nuclear weapons. I know about EMPs. I know about various
Do you agree that an EMP detonated by Iran in the atmosphere
an
could
EMP
kill tens of millions
detonated
of
by
Americans?
anyone, obviously, is a very potent weapon.
It could kill tens of millions of Americans. Do you agree with that?
That would depend, obviously, on the specifics of.
But do you agree that it could?
It depends upon the specifics. These are highly.
Does that mean yes, it could?
I said it is highly variable in its
Okay, you're
impact.
refusing to answer the question. Secretary Carter, is it correct that Iran is the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world?
I was asked before, and I believe that's true, yes.
Do you have any doubt whatsoever if in excess of $100 billion goes to Iran, that some of that money will go to jihadists who will use it to murder Americans?
I can't say that. I can say that their malign activities, about which we're extremely concerned, are quite well funded today.
Okay.
And it's
But
those
finally,
malign
because I just have a
activities
second
and
left.
the rest of their conduct that makes it so important that they not also have a nuclear weapon.
Finally, because I just have a second left, Secretary Kerry, you told Senator Lee that this was not a treaty because we don't have diplomatic relations with Iran. I would note that is directly contrary to the testimony you gave yesterday to the House.
No,
when you were asked, why is this not considered a treaty? And I will read your answer verbatim. Well,
Senator,
Congressman, I spent quite a few years. Sir, let me ask
You're not
the
reading
question.
my whole answer. Because
Well,
I also
Congressman,
said what I just said.
The
Secretary
senator's time,
Kerry.
I apologize, the senator's time has expired, and I promised the witnesses that I would get them out as every member that wanted to was able to ask question.
What is the fallout? Find out next. This is the Wells Report.
Are you ready to experience Israel?
Every once in a while, an opportunity to do something truly special comes along. An opportunity for an unforgettable and timely expedition to the land of Israel. This year, be a part of the Stand with Israel tour. Spend 9 days this fall in the fascinating and dramatic land of Israel with Mike Gallagher and Dennis Prager. Enjoy first-class accommodations and meals in comfort and safety. Visit 660amtheanswer.com for all the details and to register now. That's 660amtheanswer.com.
This week on House Talk Today, we continue our Consumer Report series, Creating the Perfect Kitchen. This Saturday, Part 2, Define Your Style. Countertops, cabinets, sinks, and flooring. Plus, the Organic Garden segment, and of course, your phone calls. So find a cool spot, tune in, and enjoy a little House Talk Today.
Tune in to House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 AM The Answer.
You just can't get your house to cool down, and your AC, well, it's running nonstop. The AC service company says it's running correctly, but it's still too hot. Who you gonna call? Heat Busters! Call 817-422-6868 or visit theheatbusters.com to get a free energy analysis on your home or business. The Heat Busters are experts in radiant barrier, insulation, high-capacity solar attic fans, and more. In Texas, you need more than just an air conditioner. You need an all-over plan. That's where the Heat Busters come in with amazing, affordable solutions to cool your home. They'll seal up those leaks, install solar control window film, and more. When you need more to cool your home, you should call Heat Busters! Call 817-422-6868 today or visit theheatbusters.com to get cool and start keeping more of your money. They bust the heat, they bust the cold, they bust discomfort and outrageous utility bills. Call 817-422-6868 or online at theheatbusters.com.
We are visiting our friend Chef Tom Fleming at Crossroads Diner. What do you have cooking today, Tom?
We've talked before, and it's great to talk to you again. Let me ask you a question. When you're going to those other breakfast places, are they making stuff in-house? You should ask them. Because at the Crossroads Diner, well, we make a lot of things in-house. You might ask, what? Well, let me help you. Well, there's the sticky buns, our homemade pancake mix, our whole wheat pancake mix, biscuits made in-house, sauces made from scratch, jams and jellies, our chorizo, Italian sausage, our quiche. I could go on, but really, you just need to ask the other guys, are they doing that? Because I don't think they are, but know that we are.
Come eat with us. We're off of Walnut Hill, just east of 75. Open for breakfast and lunch Tuesday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or visit us on the web at crossroads-diner.com. Home-style goodness meets traditional diner. Great recipes, fresh ingredients, comfortable environment, and genuine hospitality are the heart and soul of Crossroads Diner. We'll be waiting for you.
Honey, I'm really worried about our retirement funds.
Oh, me too. We lost so much value in the recession in the stock market. I'm worried we won't have enough to retire.
Jim next door told me that he had set up a new kind of IRA with the Gold Silver Group. He said how simple and safe it was. It's a private storage IRA, and we could have real gold and silver in our hands.
Really? You mean we can actually see it and touch it?
Absolutely. Jim said we could have all the benefits of an IRA to help build our retirement income. Bottom line, we would own a real tangible asset, and we would have the security of knowing we're protected no matter what the economy does. What do you think?
I think we need to find out how to get our own private storage IRA. We need to call the Gold Silver Group right now.
Are you ready to protect your future? Call 800-296-7609 now to find out how easy and safe it is to set up a private storage IRA with Gold Silver Group and find out how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. All transactions are privately delivered and fully insured. Please call us now. 800-296-7609. 800-296-7609.
Growth can be an intimidating 6-letter word, especially when the guys upstairs want 7% of it. That's why you need one 8-letter word. Grainger. Grainger. The G is for growth. From industry specialists to over 1 million products across almost every category, Grainger has the resources to help us grow. Now, can you guess what my favorite 4-letter word is? WORK. Let's get back to it. Get it? Got it? Good. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Many people lost 30 to 50% of their retirement savings in the last stock market crash by not being prepared. If you're retired or retiring soon, the time to protect what you have is now. Don't miss the next free Money Matters Retirement Seminar, 7 p.m. August 4th, Fort Worth Medical District, or 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. August 6th in Plano. Ken Murray was featured in Forbes. Clients that followed Ken's advice were out of the market in 2008. Reserve at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. Now, by popular demand, the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Clearly, the junior senator from the state of Texas not being willing to toy with the word games, to use the words of Real Clear Politics, to toy with the word games of John Kerry. And the endless thrashing about that Secretary of State John Kerry does regarding all of this. We're going to check into what Ted Cruz was talking about here. In his statement, Ted Cruz said General Soleimani, the commander of the Quds Force in Iran, has more American blood on his hands than any living terrorist. Under the agreement, apparently, sanctions on General Soleimani are lifted. Secretary Kerry said to the families of those who lost their lives, who were killed by General Soleimani, they should apologize. We're going to double check on what he meant by that, and we'll get that to you as soon as we know more here on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer, because we want to chase that down, because that was a bone of contention between the senator and Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, obviously in a situation where what he wanted to do more than anything was make it obvious that that there were serious problems with this particular deal, and they have to work on it, and they do. And we'll get back to you on that later on tonight here on the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer. If we can do that, we'll send a note to Senator Cruz's office and see if he can clarify what he was talking about. So, for whatever reason, there is a reporter at the Dallas Morning News named Avi Silk. And Avi is always been somebody who has been very respectful of this radio broadcast. I have asked him on several occasions to join us. I think he actually did once, regarding some reporting that he does on a regular basis regarding the flap in Irving about how the Islamic Center of Irving wanted to set up a Sharia court. The mayor of the city of Irving, Beth Van Dyne, immediately said, hey, wait a minute, primacy, when it comes to law, primacy is reserved for the state of Texas and the United States of America. Well, that turned into another food fight regarding just exactly, what of America we will continue to give away to the minority du jour. One of the things that I am reasonably sure of is we're not going to give away the legal system of the United States to a minority who refuses to, and I'm not saying this is the case, but seems to be unwilling to come to the American melting pot and melt. What Beth Van Dyne did is she said, hey, look, when it comes to anybody that may take part in any kind of a gathering in any particular mosque or church or synagogue or what have you, just make sure that you have Texas law that you can fall back on if you don't believe that the verdict you get from whatever one of these tribunals might be works to your advantage. Okay. Well, Avi Selk wrote an article that immediately tried to cast Irving Mayor Beth Van Dyne into some sort of negative anti-Muslim light. Well, it's standing up for American law. I realize that standing up for American law just simply isn't in fashion right now. But regardless of what Avi Selk might think, that is what you have to do. It's American law. We follow American law unless you are unless you're a Democrat politician, or unless you are an illegal immigrant, in which case you don't have to follow American law. That being said, we thought this was over. This happened months ago. You remember we talked about it. This happened months ago. Well, yesterday I opened up the paper and there it is again. For what reason? I have no idea. I write Avi Selk a note. Hey, Avi, can you explain this to me? And he goes, no, I'm not going to have anything to do with the broadcast. I invited him to be on the broadcast to talk to us. Well, maybe we can go to the other source involved in this particular argument. This is the magna cum laude graduate of Cornell University, mayor of the city of Irving, Texas, Beth Van Dyne, who has spent more on the outfit that she has in her official picture than I did on my entire education. It's great to have you here, Mayor Van Dyne. Do you have any idea why Avi Selk is hassling you?
Well, if you're sick of seeing it on yesterday's paper, you're going to wake up again tomorrow morning and you're going to see it again tomorrow.
Why? What's going on?
Not only was it because apparently they weren't happy enough to have it on the front page of the Dallas Morning News yesterday.
Yeah.
The editorial staff now has decided to keep on.
Well, what are they?
They're having an editorial that's coming out tomorrow. It's already been online today.
What are they asking? What are they trying to get? What are they trying to do here?
I need to stop pandering to the right and
stop pandering to the right.
So apparently now.
No, wait a minute. I hate to interrupt you. I hate to interrupt you, Ms. Mayor. But let me do this. Let me see if I got this straight. Did they say pandering to the right or pandering to what's right?
The right.
Oh, the right, as in
The right.
the
Yeah.
political right.
Correct.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
assuming.
Just wanted to clear that up. Okay, so the editorial board is now on your case?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
well, what are they saying?
Well, it's basically
Stop pandering to the right.
Yes, that this is a waste of time, and that I'm playing a victim. But I've been asking for this the whole time, and it amazes me. I am just still in shock that what we did. Let's see, we supported American law and Texas constitutional law.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just the right thing to do, but as an elected official, it's what we took an oath to do.
You did now that's something else I wanted to talk about. In your oath of office, you are required to you pledge an oath to defend the Constitution of the state of Texas.
Uphold and defend the U.S. Constitution and the laws of the state of Texas.
And it also says, and whatever Sharia tribunal they might want to put together just in case. It does say that in your oath, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's funny. I spent a very long, and this is part of the problem I have is, you go back and forth with some of these reporters. I mean, I spent hours putting together thoughtful, detailed responses to these questions. And they come back, and the focus is not on trying to find the truth or reporting on the truth or fact and unbiased opinion. Their focus is to try to prove me wrong. Their focus is to try to discredit, and it's personal at this point. And I really, it's almost like a drinking game.
It is, yeah. I was just going to get the quarters out.
Negative articles they could go out with it. I'd be happy if they just included the fact. If they don't like me, that's fine. If they think, my hair's too long, that's fine. I don't care.
Sure.
But at least report the facts. And the facts, they have not even been to the tribunal website. The fact is there was a CBS News report that called it, the first court, in the country that's going to be practicing Sharia law. Sharia law was talked about on the tribunal's website. The tribunal defined the imams as attorneys and judges. Their own website called themselves a court. So I think it's really disingenuous of the paper to try to make it seem as if I created this. I was simply responding to rumors as the mayor of the city.
It's
creating it. That's my job.
So the majority of the people living in Irving, the majority of those people are not Muslim, correct?
But even if they were, I don't. If you're Muslim, if you're Hindu, if you're Christian, if you're a Jew, the fact is that we all live in a great country. But what makes our country great is the laws that bind us together.
Agreed.
So we should all be willing to, come together and say we support those laws. And us supporting American laws for American courts is an opportunity for everybody to come together and say, you know what, we might come from different backgrounds, different countries, different religions, but we all stand together strongly, within this country by supporting its laws.
Exactly. Beth Van Dyne is our guest. She is the mayor of the city of Irving, Texas. She's involved in this ridiculous mess regarding an apparent crusading reporter named Avi Selk, who, and I'm trying to figure out, Avi has always been rather reasonable to me. I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to get done. He won't appear on the broadcast to explain anything. I'll ask him again tomorrow and see what he decides to do. So just for the sake of I'm sorry we have to rehash this because, like I said before, this was done months ago. The Islamic Center of Irving decided they were going to start up an Islamic tribunal. And a lot of people in Irving called me on the telephone and said, hey, wait a minute. Whoa. What do you mean they're bringing Sharia law to Irving? And I said, well, I'm sure that's not going to fly. And so what ended up happening is that sure enough, I mean, your office had decided to clarify for all times and all persons involved in Irving that yes, American and Texas law, constitutional law would be followed in the city of Irving. But if somebody wanted to make, and you even said this, if somebody wanted to make a private agreement under the auspices of, say, for example, a church tribunal like they do with the Catholic Church and the Jewish faith, and okay, in the Islamic Center, that's fine, as long as they didn't refer to themselves as a court of law. Isn't that what you said?
Well, I said if it's they're calling themselves judges, attorneys. They're calling it a court. Under practice areas of law, they had product liability, business and real estate litigation, and family law and divorce.
And child custody, as I recall.
Well, I mean, I that was not listed on their website necessarily, but
okay.
You know, and they charge for the cases, and it just here's the thing: if they weren't doing anything outside American law, if they were following American law, then the ALAC bill should not have bothered them in the least. They should not have bothered them in the least, because the only thing the ALAC bill, defined is only in cases where people's rights would be violated would you not consider foreign laws in family courts. So in courts of where you're dealing with divorce, child custody, division of marital assets, where a woman primarily is the one who's going to be subject to discrimination.
Right. And
unequal protection under the law. We were just saying, look, in those types of cases, we're going to protect a woman's rights. We're going to protect the rights of the child. And in those specifically family law cases where someone's rights would be violated if American law was not followed, we're going to follow American law. We can sit here and point fingers at a religion or at a tribunal, but at the end of the day, I would do it again.
Of course you would. You'd have to. I mean,
I have to.
It's your oath of office. Yeah. Okay. So.
And again, if they wanted to have an opinion, fine, but state all the facts. I have written to them, and I have all the emails. I've posted all the emails on my Facebook site so they can see the back and forth between me and the reporter. All of those questions that came out, all of the answers I provided, they didn't make it into the story.
What is your Facebook page?
It's Beth Van Dyne.
Beth Van Dyne. You just BETHVANDUYNE.
Correct.
Okay. So the only thing that we can draw from this conversation is that clearly the Dallas Morning News is a supporter of Sharia law in Irving. Is that correct? Okay. I won't ask you that question. I will not ask you that question. I just wanted to get your political heart to stop for just a moment. Because I would ask, I mean, obviously, journalists are able to essentially cobble up whatever story they have in their mind in this town. I was just trying to figure out if I could maybe join the club.
Well, the editorial gave me a hard time about being on the speaker circuit. Well, the fact is I've given two presentations on this. One was in Kaufman County, the other one was in Northeast Tarrant County. And the Northeast Tarrant County happened about a week and a half ago, but they had asked me back in April if I could speak. So, it's not as if this is stale news. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is sick of reading about it, but I guess it's selling papers. That's the only thing I can think of, because there's no new information that's provided.
The only thing that I can say is I saw this and I wanted you to have another opportunity to clarify it, because obviously you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. This is kind of like a minor league attempt at trying to, I don't know, foment more division in a place where people need to stand together, as opposed to.
Well, and here's the troublesome part about all of this. They continue to deny that Sharia law has been enacted in any court in Texas. That was the heart of Steve Blow's article. That has been basically what Bobby Silk has been writing, and that's the editorial even ignored all of that. And the fact is, there are cases in Texas where Sharia law has been considered in family court law. And to deny it, to not write about it, to not even try to explore it and research it. And by the way, we had a number of cases and resources where these reporters could go. Not that that's my responsibility. As a reporter,
exactly.
You're going to you should be doing that on your own.
Sure.
But I'm happy to provide that. They ignored them.
Unbelievable.
You can bring you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it research.
The great Beth Van Dyne, mayor of the city of Irving, joining us on this just for an opportunity to clear the air again on a story months old that's already been taken care of. If you want to know more, go to Beth Van Dyne's Facebook page, Vandyne. Mayor Van Dyne, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Wells Report. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for sure. More of this fine broadcast next. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Sean Hannity believes the establishment GOP is the reason why Donald Trump has risen in the polls.
That's what this has become, a weak and timid and visionless Washington Republican establishment. And it's now hit a tipping point. Dovetails perfectly into an analysis of why you see the meteoric rise of Donald Trump.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Michael Medved at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
For almost 2 decades, financial advisor and educator Rick Poston with Empowered Wealth Financial Services has provided peace of mind to thousands who see or hear him in the media or read his work. Rick has been chosen by Bloomberg Business Week magazine as one of the top 20 game-changing financial advisors in the country. A fan of Rick's profound teaching, Brian Tracy, world-renowned business leader, speaker, and best-selling author, has asked Rick to co-author his newest book entitled The Winning Way, where Rick will share with his fans some of the principles that allow Rick's clients to continue on their winning way. If you're looking to break away from that same old investment plan that has provided you with one too many disappointments, stay tuned to 660 AM The Answer every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock for the most educational hour on financial talk radio with Empowered Wealth Radio, live, or call 469-361-4020.
Frank, I really think we need an American Home Shield home warranty.
But we have homeowners insurance.
I'm worried about our home appliances and systems breaking down, like our air conditioner. Homeowners insurance doesn't cover any of that. A home warranty does.
But homeowners insurance covers stuff that might happen, like a meteor crashing into our house or a Bigfoot attack.
A Bigfoot attack?
There's a Bigfoot outside now.
That's the neighbor's dog.
Sounds like a Bigfoot.
Homeowners insurance can cover the things that might happen, like Bigfoot destroying your home. But an American Home Shield home warranty covers what will happen, like your home systems and appliances breaking down. Protect your budget from covered breakdowns of up to 21 major home systems and appliances, your air conditioner, plumbing, refrigerator, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-900-9517.
Pretty sure that's a Bigfoot.
For valuable free information about an American Home Shield home warranty, call 1-800-900-9517. That's 1-800-900-9517. 1-800-900-9517.
You've been thinking about switching to solar. Don't wait much longer or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Move quickly because the tide is turning. Solar power is becoming a threat to big energy profits. In fact, some power companies are even pushing for extra fees to make up for lost revenue. Warning, you must have your solar system up and running by midnight December 31st or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Energy prices are expected to increase by as much as 40% in the near future. Go solar now with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. You can afford it because we finance. Get your government money and save big every month. Big Energy is getting nervous and the door of opportunity is about to slam shut. Paying $150 a month or more on energy bills? Then call 1-800-MY-SOLAR now for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
You know, when you wake up feeling sore, whether it's shoulder pain, hip pain, low back issues, that tells you that your bed probably needs to be replaced. You know, if you're a side sleeper and your bed is too firm and it's compressing the shoulders or the hips, it causes torsional rotation, which is essentially twisting of the body. And what we do with a Sovereign bed is we fit you for a bed that is going to hold your body in a neutral position. Sovereign European Sleep Systems, Inwood and Lovers in Dallas. Learn more at sovn.com.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
Because I have the world's greatest executive producer, Vicky Stifer, I can tell you that what is going on here regarding Ted Cruz and Secretary of State John Kerry. What Ted Cruz was referring to was a conversation between Secretary of State Kerry and Tom Cotton, who is a former military man. He's a veteran, and what they were referring to was a conversation where it was brought up that because of the Iranian nuclear agreement, that there was going to be, for all intents and purposes, the lifting of sanctions against Quds Force General Qassem Soleimani. Insofar as what was happening is that all of these Gold Star moms and dads and families who had lost sons thanks to the Quds Force, which used IEDs and all manner of other things, which, by the way, are war crimes. What ends up happening is that you find a situation where Ted Cruz was trying to nail down John Kerry for not apologizing to the families, because for all intents and purposes, this deal overturns the sanctions on the state of Iran. So we'll have this up for you. We'll have these articles up on the Wells Report page of 660 AM The Answer. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer. Back with more in just a moment.
Hi, this is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor. I'd like for you to join me on my talk show this weekend. What I do is teach people how to go the natural, organic route. I stir up trouble, too, because I throw out some things that a lot of people just don't think are correct. You know what? We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
The Good Contractors List is a free service designed to protect you. We meet all of our home service contractors face-to-face and feel so confident in our final choices that we back their work with a $10,000 guarantee. We go the extra mile in our interview process to make sure that the contractor is not only honest in quality, but able to offer the most affordable and fair rates. For instance, how do you pick who you call for air conditioning? Did you know that the air conditioning industry is commonly known for misdiagnosis and unneeded upselling? The higher their overhead, the more money they need to stay in business. So they flash tempting offers to get their foot in the door, and the sales game is on. The air conditioning companies we choose are simply stable and proven companies that offer the highest quality at fair and honest rates. And to protect you, they've all agreed to do an absolutely free second opinion if you're being told that you have to replace your air conditioning unit. If you need AC or any other type of home service, visit thegoodcontractorslist.com first.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. You've heard me talk about it all month. Now it's time. The new Venture on Wall Street seminars in Richardson and Fort Worth, and it's this weekend. So come on, change your financial future. Get into the stock market and do better than people who don't have this training. Who's doing the training? It is Pastor David Mitchell and the new Venture on Wall Street crew, nvows.com. to learn more about how they do what they do. I learned early on that this is just a great method. There are no secrets in life, no magic dust or crystal balls. It's a risky world of investments, but they show you how to be a little smarter, do some of your own research, notice some tendencies, some things that have helped other people retire earlier, get a second income stream. It's just a wonderful group of people. New Venture on Wall Street. Learn about them at nvows.com and then get into the Richardson or Fort Worth seminars this weekend at 877-907-TRADE. 877-907-TRADE. We got a place saved just for you. 877-907-TRADE. nvows.com. 877-907-TRADE.
This is 660 AM The Answer. A service of Salem Media Group on the NASDAQ as SALM, KSKY, Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. 660 AM The Answer.
Fox News Radio, I'm Joe Chiaro. A piece of plane wing washed up on an island in the Indian Ocean, creating more questions in the case of missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370.
The wreckage that they found tells us nothing about where the main wreckage is, where the remains of the victims are, and why the plane went down and how it went down. The airline is trying to help people. Malaysia has sent a team to Reunion Island.
GRN reporter Terry Friel. No confirmation yet the wing is from Flight 370. The White House disappointed. The House didn't accomplish more before leaving early for their August recess.
I do hope that Republicans will do more than just rest and relax during their 39-day vacation, because when they do finally show up again in September, there won't be a lot of patience or a lot of sympathy for the claim that they don't have time to do their job.
Spokesman Josh Earnest. The Senate today passing an emergency House-approved extension for highway funding. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You're listening to 660 AM The Answer. Dennis Prager believes the left will leave no stone unturned.
How impossible it has become to avoid leftism.
There is nothing that is freed from their tentacle. They must intrude everywhere. The arrogance of people on the left is so deep because they know better.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at noon, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on 660 AM. The Answer.
I'm Steve Sidkowski, a former Wall Street insider. I'm holding a book that will show you investing strategies which could help you earn the kind of money you've always dreamed about. And right now, I'm giving this book away for free. So who needs to read it? If you're in the middle of your career and worry you'll never have enough money to retire, you need to read this book. If you're already retired and your income isn't enough, you need to read this book. And if you don't want to be selling burgers at 80, you need to read this free book. It includes the strategy I use to make a 72% profit on a trade where the stock only moved 12%. You'll need at least $1 million to ever fully retire. If you're behind on that goal, you really need to read Trade Like the Pros. And you can for free by calling 1-800-708-4557. Skeptical that it will deliver results? It's a free book, so what do you have to lose? Find out how at 1-800-708-4557. 1-800-708-4557.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to urinate? Well, you're not alone. Most men will experience these prostate-related issues in their lifetime. Right now, the manufacturer of GoFlow Prostate is sending out risk-free supplies to the listeners of this station. And since GoFlow was developed by renowned MD Dr. Mitchell Fleischer, its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce frequent nighttime bathroom trips and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait because supplies are limited. Call 1-800-668-0074. That's 1-800-668-0074 to get your risk-free supply. GoFlow Prostate is guaranteed to reduce your frequent trips to the bathroom and promote healthy urine flow. Plus, if you call right now, you'll even get free shipping with your risk-free supply of GoFlow Prostate. Dial 1-800-667-5138. Don't delay. If the phones are busy, call back. 1-800-667-5138. 1-800-667-5138.
Hello?
Hi, is this Amy?
Speaking.
This is Steve from LifeLock, calling about your response to the alert we sent for a credit application at a store in Portland.
Yes? That wasn't me. I'm in Tampa.
I understand. I'm going to work with you to help you resolve this, okay?
Thanks, Steve. I feel better already.
LifeLock detects threats to your finances, alerts you to danger, and helps restore your identity if anything's found. And with LifeLock Ultimate Plus, you get protection for your bank accounts, investments, even the equity in your home. Look, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor transactions at every business, but LifeLock Ultimate Plus provides comprehensive identity theft protection. Visit LifeLock.com now and enter promo code AWARE or call and mention AWARE to save 10% on your LifeLock Ultimate Plus membership. Call 800-838-6010. 800-838-6010. 800-838-6010.
There was a lot to love about your timeshare, but when it's time to get out, there's a lot to love about ResortRelease.com. ResortRelease.com helps timeshare owners terminate their contracts and end all future payments guaranteed. Imagine how great it would feel to end all legal responsibility and never pay another timeshare fee. If you've tried to sell your timeshare, you know how impossible it can feel. Our 100% guarantee lets you legally and permanently walk away or you pay nothing. ResortRelease.com holds a Better Business Bureau A+ rating. We're the only timeshare cancellation company in the nation with their prestigious accreditation. Act now and avoid 2016's maintenance fees. Talk to one of ResortRelease.com's trusted expert asset managers and see if your property qualifies at 800-281-9595. That's 800-281-9595. Experience ResortRelease.com's easy cancellation process and free yourself from the burden of that timeshare. Call 800-281-9595. 800-281-9595 or visit resortrelease.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Kidd, engineering graduate of Texas A&M and owner of Structured Foundation Repairs. Our number is 972-484-1200. Our motto is to do the right thing. In some respects, it's hard being the company that always does the right thing. But for our customers' sake, it's very important that we do. Being fully insured, as an example, costs us a lot of money, but it protects our customers. Having employees instead of day laborers is a huge responsibility, but our dedicated employees ensure that we do the best repairs we can. Managing a large office staff can be tedious, but they provide our customers a helpful voice when they need something urgent. Returning every phone call is time-consuming, but instills our customers with confidence that we will always be there when they need us. The Aggie Code of Honor states that Aggies don't lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those that do. That code was the principle our company was founded on, and it guides our daily operations. If this sounds like the kind of company you could trust to repair your foundation, call us today for a free evaluation at 972-484-1200 or click structuredfoundation.com.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Thanks for joining us. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Just as a quick side note, I think I'm beginning to understand something here. Why would you do a reprint of an article regarding, say, Beth Van Dyne or any mayor of North Texas cities? Why would you do a redo of an article that's months old for the sake of whatever? Well, I just got that editorial that Mayor Van Dyne was referencing, and apparently the issue is that the Dallas Morning News wants to get across in some way, probably a negative one, that's just a supposition on my part, that Mayor Van Dyne might have aspersions or aspirations, not aspersions, aspirations to seek higher public office. So that must be what it is. So we're trying to figure out why they're throwing all this stuff back out. Well, it has to do with the fact that apparently there are rumors, and it says so here in this editorial, there are rumors that that Beth Van Dyne is seeking higher office, and suddenly, apparently, standing up for her oath of office, American law and Texas law, is supposed to be some sort of weakness, deficit, problem for her seeking higher office. What? I sometimes the Dallas Morning News is one of the greatest newspapers in the country. It truly is. There are people out there. There are people that work on this newspaper that are just genius journalists. They're truly good. In the manner of Bob Schieffer, who just retired, who came from the Dallas Morning News and so on. But there are times when it is the most small town, pernicious, silly little rag, and it's really it's a disappointment. And I don't know, and I guess I do know, because what happens is they get out of the business of reporting news and they start playing politics. And that's when they start looking stupid. When it comes right down to it, hey, you guys are journalists, you're not politicians. If you want to play politics, you need to start putting in the same kind of work necessary to be a good politician that you put into by going to college and so on to become a good journalist. You haven't dotted those I's or crossed those T's, and you look silly. What you need to do is you need to just recognize the fact that Beth Van Dyne got elected last time with 60% majority by the people of Irving. How about this? Why don't you report how well she's doing instead of trying to pick some totally anti-American divisive tact by a small number of people who live in Irving to try to disassociate themselves from the United States of America. There's a time when you stand up for the minority and the rights of the minority, and then there's a time when you stand up for the United States of America. It seems like the Dallas Morning News is forgetting how to do that. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. By the way, you can see all the processes of this food fight that I was trying to get to the bottom of tonight on the Wells Report page of 660 AM The Answer, okay? Vicky is going to she's trying to sort through the emails that I sent between myself and Avi Selk. By the way, there are emails from Avi that go back to March of 2014, I think. You don't need to include those. Those are other things. Maybe 2015. Speaking of people standing up for the country, why are Republicans putting Donald Trump as the front runner for all of the various candidates in the 2016 presidential campaign? Why do you suppose Republicans are supporting Donald Trump to the point where he is the clear, by double digits, front runner in the 2016 chase for the Republican nomination? Why is it? If you like Donald Trump, if you are a Donald Trump supporter, call me on the telephone and tell me why. 866-660-5759. I have a pretty good idea, but I don't want to throw it out there until so you first. 866-660-5759. Tell me what you like about Donald Trump. What is the appeal of Donald Trump? 866-660-5759. Really interested in hearing what you have to say before I jump into this. Okay? This is kind of interesting. The Washington Post has noticed that Donald Trump is not your typical presidential candidate. And because he's the front runner, that puts the other presidential candidates in the Republican chase for the nomination in a very peculiar position. What they have to do is they have to completely prepare themselves for a totally different kind of debate. A totally different debate than what they normally would have. You know why? Because Donald Trump is going to bring up topics and handle things in ways that politicians would never even think of. So not only do the professional politicians involved in the chase for the 2016 Republican presidential nomination, not only do they have to prepare for all of the gotcha questions and so on from the media, they're going to have to deal with the intellect that is Donald Trump, who is coming at this from an American point of view, as opposed to a political one. For those of us who have said we wanted politicians who rooted for America first, well, this may be your guy. 866-660-5759. Tell me why you support Donald Trump. Tell me why you think he's the Republican frontrunner for the 2016 presidential election. 866-660-5759. Andreas of Corsicana, thanks for joining us. Hi.
Hi, how are you? I love your show.
Thank you, Andreas. That's very nice, man.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, I mean, finally, I'm 58 years old, and finally, I've been through elections in Greece, where I come from, and here in the United States, where I'm here 24, 25 years now. I'm a U.S. citizen. And the first guy who speaks my language, like the way I think, the way I speak, you know, he speaks to your heart. I don't want to say he speaks the state language, but in a way, that's what it is. You know, he's not using a teleprompter. He's not using scripts. The guy is pure. I don't care. Everybody has faults, okay? Nobody's perfect. But you know something? At least this guy seems like he cares for America. He cares for us. I mean, it's the real thing, I think.
All right.
What I think. I have a lot of friends that were supporting other candidates, and boom, the last couple of weeks, everybody goes for Trump. I'm telling you, it's a movement, like he said. This is a movement. I think if he's smart enough where he is to pick up the right people for the cabinet, I think we got a winner there. I think we got a chance. But let's hope.
Let's hope, Andreas. Thanks for listening to the broadcast, sir.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
You know I will. Thank you so much for joining us. I think Andreas just made the promo. Let me get to Joey in Argyle. Joey, thanks for joining us. Hi.
Well, I think that he speaks what most of us are thinking, and he and Ted Cruz are about the only ones willing to stand up to the Mitch McConnells and the mainstream Republican Party.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. He does certainly believe in what he's saying, and I'm watching this and I'm going, well, maybe Americans, and I have a theory. I have a theory that I'm going to get to in just a couple of seconds. Hang on just a second. Let me get to Shane in Azle, Texas. Shane, welcome.
Hey, Sergeant Wells.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. We have talked about immigration, illegal immigration, and how it affects people like me out here in the construction industry.
Yes, sir.
But now I want to talk about the ridiculousness of this entire situation. Trump, he's talking about something that everybody needs to be talking about. It is affecting people in ways that politicians, they don't crap about.
All right.
Most people out there working their tech jobs, they don't give a shit.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. I appreciate that. I got it. You're listening to the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer. Yeah. He said they don't give a darn. Did you get it? I got it. We both got it. That's why we have that fascinating little Shane. Hey, man. It's family show. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Here's what I think. People are listening to Donald Trump in droves and supporting Donald Trump in droves because of two reasons. One, he does say it like it is. He does say what's on his mind. He is straightforward. He is not beholden to trying to conserve every possible vote. His job is not necessarily to get elected. His job is to make it possible for Americans to know they have an alternative to the typical. Why is that important? It's important because the typical professional politician is responsible for all of our frustration and anger. We are not happy with the way the American government is being run by professional politicians, not in the least. And neither is Donald Trump. So right off the bat, Donald Trump and most of the people that I know, and I'm a Tea Party guy, so I'm going to run across more people that are angry with the Republican Party than not. So most of the people I know are very, very happy that Donald Trump is in this race and calling it the way he sees it and telling it like it is and not playing political games, because he's not. The other reason that that's important is because these people have so screwed up America that they are vulnerable for arguably an amateur politician to beat them soundly. Now, Donald Trump is not he's an amateur politician, but he's no amateur at being an American. He's a full-on professional American. He's a professional capitalist. He's a guy who says, hey, you know what? I love this country and I want to see it great again. Now, there are problems with Donald Trump. You know, he has moved his political positions around a lot. But what is it about this guy that we like so much? It's a breath of fresh air. He's telling it the way he sees it. And that's what most of us want to hear right now. Now, the next question, does he have a chance to actually win? Next on the Wells Report.
Hi, this is Andy Tuttle, host of Tuttle Talk every Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. We're in a real estate market where there's a lot of difficulty, but in difficulty, there's a lot of opportunity as well. Buying, selling, avoiding foreclosure, modifying your credit, all these things are so important to your livelihood. This show is dedicated to cutting through some of the big headlines that you see out there and teaching you how to win in any marketplace. Thank you for tuning in to Tuttle Talk every Sunday, 4 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer. I look forward to speaking with you.
Listen to Plain Talk, No Worries every Sunday right here at 11 a.m. Rick Foster and Kevin Christ of Guardian Financial Management will talk about retirement planning, identifying the path to your dreams, income planning, creating strategies that work for you, financial management, minimizing your risk along the way. The topic this Sunday Rick and Kevin will discuss is how reducing your risk can get you better returns. Plain Talk, No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ right here this Sunday at 11 a.m. You don't want to miss it.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Any constructive discussion of immigration issues must rely on facts, not just feelings. Unfortunately, some of the loudest voices in this debate frequently cite a number which has no basis in reality, claiming 30 million illegal immigrants in the United States. The actual number, according to all credible sources, is 11 million. It would be impossible to hide 20 million people from ruthless politicians. Democrats would find the missing illegals to build their own power with more federal funds and more representation in Congress. Under the Constitution, the House is apportioned based on the whole number of persons, end quote, in a district, not limited to citizens or legal residents. Democrats have every reason to overestimate the number of illegals, not underestimate them. 20 million more undocumented immigrants works out to 25 seats in the House of Representatives. No working politician, liberal or conservative, would ever ignore or obscure such significant numbers. I'm Michael Medved.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Debt Relief Advocates now. 1-800-500-8980. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Debt Relief Advocates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible, without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-500-8980. That's 1-800-500-8980. 1-800-500-8980.
This is an important message to all listeners. If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, the tax pros at OIC Tax want to help you. OIC Tax is dedicated to helping taxpayers just like you with their IRS problems.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS. I was working long hours and weekends just to make ends meet. To make matters worse, the IRS was about to garnish my wages, and I needed to file several years of back tax returns. Then I called the tax professionals at OIC Tax. They stopped the IRS from garnishing my wages. They even placed my account into the IRS's financial hardship program, so I don't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right, no payments to the IRS while I'm in this program.
Call OIC Tax today to see if you qualify for the IRS's financial hardship program. Call 866-530-7979. Call now and mention you heard this radio commercial and receive 10% off their already low fees. 866-530-7979. That number, 866-530-7979. Call now, 866-530-7979.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
The main components of a Sovereign bed are the following. It's an extremely durable bed. You should never see sags or body impressions or anything of that sort. It's an extremely clean mattress. You don't have any chemicals or chemical off-gassing, no chemical flame retardants, and it's custom tailored, so that ensures greater comfort and something that's going to work for you based on size, weight, and how you sleep. Sovereign European Sleep Systems, Inwood and Lovers in Dallas. Learn more at sovn.com.
660 AM, The Answer. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Telephone number 866-660-5759. Donald Trump is out in front. As we come to this conversation, the people at Fox News have opened up the presidential debates for more of the people. There's going to be a primetime debate. Then there will be an earlier debate. And it looks as though Rick Perry is going to be in that earlier debate, even though he should not be. Rick Perry has the best story to tell among any of the governors in the race for president in 2015. But I mean, when you've got a guy who can command an audience like Donald Trump, and he can, and when you have those kinds of people, and it's so early that nobody's really paying attention yet, and nobody has ever nobody's cast a vote, nobody has stood up in a caucus, nobody has done any of that. All right, it's really, really hard to change your position, and so Rick Perry is going to have to hope for a really good performance in that earlier debate. He's going to have to say some things that people remember. Now, that earlier debate it remains to be seen as to exactly how they're going to go about the second tier people versus the first tier, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is one of the disadvantages, because the Republican Party is run by nincompoops like Reince Priebus. The guy is just an idiot. What he needs to do is he needs to tell Fox News, hey, look, you need to split up the debate, the numbers of candidates into there are 17 of them now. So there would be 3 groups, two groups with 6 and one group with 5. And what you do is you put them on the air in successive nights. And everybody gets their debate positions by drawing lots, or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's my personal idea. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, run 3 debates. Wait 8 weeks and do it again. And just move the people around. Have them draw lots every single time. And that's the way you do it. It may not necessarily be the best thing for television ratings and what have you, but you know what? The country's more important than ratings. I mean, if we can do it, they can do it, right? We do the Who's Next project. Let's face it. There are not a lot of people that want to sit around and listen to somebody who's running for a city council slot in Rockwall. I got it. Not that there's anything wrong with Rockwall. But if you happen to be living in Fort Worth, or if you're living in Farmers Branch or Flower Mound or any of Denton, do you really care? Well, if you care about the United States, I think you do. And one of the things about running a news service is you have to tell the news. You have to tell people what the news is. The news is there are 17 people running for the Republican nomination for president. Every single one of them deserves to be heard. I mean, that's the case, right? Yes, this is early. Yes, Donald Trump is out in front. Is Donald Trump going to actually win the election? I'm not so sure. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. And the reason I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it is because at some point, people are going to realize that this guy has some serious political deficits. Just saying. You're listening to the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer. What are your thoughts? What about Rick Perry? Does he have a chance? He needs to get with it. He really does. Needs to get with it, or he's going to be left behind by this very dynamic, very fast-moving group of Republican presidential candidates. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM. The Answer.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America.
We asked for a contest. We said maybe to the tune of anything. Quickly to John. Hey, John.
I'll never sing on the air, that's for sure.
Okay, you and me both. Walk like a man as fast as you can. Walk like a man, don't whine. What used to be so large with Hillary in charge is now gone and withered on the vine.
Weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University are excited to welcome a Good Fight Night to Frisco. Friday night, August 14th, 2015 at Elevate Life Church. Fight Night is a fun date for couples of any age or stage. Marriage experts, Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, interact with you in a night filled with humor and practical new strategies for turning conflict into deeper relationship. They're actually going to show you how conflict can bring you closer together, because if you're like them, you have the occasional cut and you don't want anything to come from that but a bond between you and your spouse. You're going to leave that evening with some fantastic things you can do starting that very night to improve your relationship. Les and Leslie might share a real fight or two of their own to help each of you. Register at FightNightTexas.com. The truth is, we do have distinct differences, and the more we have empathy for each other, the more grace we have for each other. Friday, August 14th, 2015. For more info, visit ElevateLife.com.
Pop quiz for all business owners. If you're not incorporated and someone sues your business, which one of these can you lose? Your home, your car, or your life savings? The answer? All three. Because if you're not incorporated, it's not just your business that can be sued, it's you too, which means you could lose everything. Once business owners realize the risk of not being incorporated, they usually scramble to incorporate or form an LLC. To make it quick and easy, Incorporate.com is now giving away a free incorporation guide to all business owners, so you can incorporate in just 10 minutes. For your free 10-minute incorporation guide, call now, 1-800-733-1035. Protect your financial future. At Incorporate.com, they don't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. Call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide. 1-800-733-1035. Hurry while supplies last. 1-800-733-1035. That's 1-800-733-1035.
We are visiting our friend Chef Tom Fleming at Crossroads Diner. What do you have cooking today, Tom?
Let me ask you a question. Where you been getting your fried yardbird on lately? I know what you're thinking. Yeah, it's fried chicken. Well, at the diner, we do it a little bit different. Hand pounded, hand breaded, fried to order, and it comes with the best smooth, warm, creamy brie cheese. And then we top it with, oh my God, I can't even believe this, a tomato caper relish that is just out of this world. So if you've been eating fried yardbird somewhere else, come by the Crossroads Diner, because my yardbird's the best.
Fresh ingredients sure to please any sophisticated palate and taste at affordable diner prices in a casual environment. Crossroads Diner. Come eat with us. We're off of Walnut Hill, just east of 75. Open for breakfast and lunch Tuesday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or visit us on the web at crossroads-diner.com. Homestyle goodness meets traditional diner. Great recipes, fresh ingredients, comfortable environment, and genuine hospitality are the heart and soul of Crossroads Diner. We'll be waiting for you.
Square Trade does not cover lost or stolen items. Savings based on 2-year iPhone plan with one claim compared to Assurant total equipment coverage as of April 10th, 2015.
Don't overpay for phone insurance. Save with Square Trade phone protection instead. Phone insurance from Verizon, Sprint, or other wireless carriers can cost you as much as $11 every month, plus up to $199 deductible when you break your phone. Square Trade phone protection is less than $5 a month. We can save you over $240.
Start saving with Square Trade now. Visit squaretrade.com. That's squaretrade.com.
Hey, it's Flo, and this is my impression of a less than ideal job candidate. Is the owner here? Oh, you're the owner. Whatever. So I can only work Monday through Wednesday sometimes. And I got to get out at 2 p.m. sharp. Band practice, you know? We're big on covers. Like how Progressive covers both businesses and commercial auto. Anyway, sorry I'm late, but being late's sort of my thing.
All the coverage your business needs at progressivecommercial.com.
Resume? Nah, I don't really do those. I just like to come in and let my personality shine.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Do you worry that the next stock market crash may be coming? If you're retired or retiring soon, it's critical to protect yourself now.
This is Ken Moraif, host of the Money Matters radio show, inviting you to our free seminar.
Choose 7 p.m. Tuesday, August 4th, Hilton Garden Inn, Fort Worth Medical District, or 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. Thursday, August 6th, the Money Matters building in Plano. Clients that followed Ken's advice were out of the stock market for 2008. Register now at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net, or call 800-994-0302.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells, and his name is Mark Davids. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, say 5 o'clock in the morning. He's going to show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning. And he's going to stay on the air until 10 o'clock, 3 hours, coast to coast. And then 2 hours just for Texas. Mark Davis tomorrow morning on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, JD, happy Thursday night. Let's get ready for a Friday. Got some questions. Is the Iran deal falling apart before our very eyes? Are America's eyes being opened on the carnage of abortion and the profit motive of Planned Parenthood? Is the Hillary campaign being outed as an exercise in mediocrity? Man, I'd take any one of these, but all three may actually be happening. Evaluate with us on Morning in America tomorrow, 5 to 8 a.m. Woohoo! Join us. And then 8 to 10 for Texas. That's a lot of radio. Come help me out. Mark Davis Show tomorrow, starting at 5 with Morning in America, going until 10, right here on 660 AM The Answer.
You can do it, Mark, I swear. 866-660-5759 is our telephone number. I want you to use that telephone number. I want you to use the telephone number. I have a question for you. It is a heart-wrenching question. Okay? And I asked it earlier of our executive producer, Vicki Steifer, in our pre-production meeting. And I showed her this article from Fox News Channel with the headline, after being written by the genius journalist Ed Henry. The headline is, Clinton campaign reportedly growing edgy over possible Biden run. Yeah, Ed Henry wrote this. Aides close to Hillary Clinton are getting increasingly nervous that Vice President Joe Biden may throw his hat into the 2016 presidential race later this summer, according to Democrat sources. The sources said that eyebrows were raised recently at Clinton's headquarters in Brooklyn when Biden's chief of staff at the White House, Steve Ricchetti, was spotted having breakfast recently with major Democrat donor Louis Sussman, a Clinton friend who served as U.S. ambassador to the United Kingdom under President Obama. Okay. After the breakfast, sources said word spread quickly inside Clinton's camp that Biden's team appeared to be sounding out top fundraisers about whether the vice president could raise necessary cash to compete with the Democrat frontrunner at this late date. Sussman previously raised money for the presidential bids of John Kerry in 2004 and Barack Obama in 2008. He'd been confirmed to Fox News that he had breakfast with Ricchetti, but noted he'd been a friend of mine for many, many years. He added it was strictly a personal meeting, and when pressed on whether he may raise money for Biden, he said, I'm not planning anything. Hillary is our candidate now. Okay, so I'm reasonably sure that this is just an overheated rumor, but that, Ed Henry's doing a good job with the journalism on this. He's following up the story. Okay, here's the question I have for you. Actually, there are two questions. Do you think Vice President Joe Biden is going to run for the Democrat nomination for president? Yes or no? 866-660-5759. And the other question is this. What would you do if Joe Biden actually became the president? 866-660-5759. I've been thinking about this all day. Honestly, Joe Biden is president of the United States. What would you do if he was the president? What would you do? What would you do if you woke up and found that Joe Biden was the president of the United States? I would cry. That's the first thing I would do. I would cry. I would absolutely cry because I've been watching Joe Biden for years. Joe Biden made sense exactly once, exactly one time. You know when he made sense? He made sense when he was talking about the United States going into Afghanistan. He was talking about how it was going to be a nightmare, how it was going to be nation building, how we were going to be there for decades, and that was just going to be the way it was. And we all had to just sit down and say, okay, this is the job we have to do, and we might as well get about doing it. It's the only time he ever made sense to me. The rest of the time, Joe Biden has been in the exact right place. High American office, close to the seat of power, and completely unable to do anything except swear, use the F-bomb in certain circumstances when the president was doing some sort of self-congratulatory thing for a bill he got passed.
That's what it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the campaign theme for Joe Biden. That's right. Crazy train. All aboard! Seriously. What would our life be like with President Joe Biden? I've hit the post about 4 times tonight.
It would be this.
Yeah, it would be this. It would be absolutely. Yeah. Candace in Rockford, Illinois. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hi.
Good evening, JD. So I was at the Beverly Wilshire last week, and Joe Biden, well, actually the Secret Service searched our trunk. They had the dogs out. And we found out that our dogs were out because he was staying in the hotel.
Ah.
And he came with the football car, the 15, I counted 15. There might have been more motorcycle escort, 2 limousines, about 8 to 10 SUVs. And that was just the beginning on one side of the street. When I looked out from the 14th floor, there was more on the other side. I understood from a staff person, because I'm nosy and I asked for information, that Hillary had been there just a few days before in Los Angeles. JD, why do you go to Los Angeles across the street from Rodeo Drive? I didn't go there to shop. I was there on business with my husband.
Right.
But I would think that they would be there to raise money.
Right.
Big money.
Yes.
Maserati money.
Maserati money. Lamborghini money. Yeah.
Oh, sir, a Bentley, with a pink inside with a white exterior. Never seen anything like it. Yes, sir.
Are you serious? You actually saw that ar?
Oh, yes, sir.
You saw
yes, it was the Bentley, the white one with the pink. I don't know what movie star that belonged to. This is a late night show. I know it's a family program, but when a Lotus drives up with a single woman in it, short skirt by herself, she's there on, let's just say, some business for someone.
Wow.
Yeah, it's money.
Well,
money,
yeah.
honey. Lots of it.
Yeah. So what you're trying to tell us is that maybe Joe Biden is raising money?
I was thinking that, yes.
What would you do? What would you do if he actually was successful and became the president?
Well, instead of crying like I do most days as I open the pages of the newspaper and see what's going on, I would be laughing like you're just doing.
Would you be laughing?
Like a joke.
Yeah, because I think I'd be crying. The thing about it is that at least with Joe Biden, you know you're getting an amateur.
Yes.
I mean, seriously.
But, you know, JD, I always give a little grace here because Joe has a plate in his head. So I just kind of
Easy now. Yeah,
well, he does.
Well, I understand. Yeah, I understand. I know. I just can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Thank you, Candace. I appreciate it. I cannot imagine it. Joe Biden. President Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, President Joe Biden. Hit me. All right, so here we go. There's news about Hillary Clinton that has nothing to do with Joe Biden. I'm going to run through this. We try really hard to avoid this as much as we can. Mainly because we have a policy on the Wells Report about exploiting someone's personal misfortune. Okay? we really try not to exploit people's personal misfortune when they're malfunctioning really badly. We just we tend to give them privacy. This came up today. Donations to the Clinton Foundation by Swiss bank UBS increased times 10 after Hillary Clinton intervened to settle a dispute with the IRS early in her tenure as Secretary of State. This according to a published report. According to the Wall Street Journal, total donations by UBS to the foundation grew from less than $60,000 at the end of 2008 to $600,000 by the end of 2014. The Journal reports that the bank also lent $32 million through entrepreneurship and inner-city loan programs it launched in association with the foundation, while paying former President Bill Clinton $1.5 million to participate in a series of corporate question and answer sessions with UBS Chief Executive Bob McCann. Apparently, there is no evidence of wrongdoing. Okay, so Secretary of State Clinton does a favor for Swiss bank UBS. Suddenly, they multiply their typical donation to the Clinton Foundation by a factor of 10, and they pay President Bill Clinton $1.5 million. $1.5 million. So, just a coincidence? Yeah. There's no evidence of wrongdoing. But seriously? Seriously? There's more. You know those classified emails that were never ever stored on former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's private server? Those classified emails were never, ever, ever stored on her personal email server. And thank goodness, because the classified emails that everybody is pretty sure never appeared on Hillary Clinton's private server were from 5 U.S. intelligence agency and included material related to the fatal 2012 Benghazi attacks. Yeah. Yeah, so apparently, I mean, if indeed that there was classified information, I mean, it would be classified information from the top 5 U.S. intelligence agencies. NSA, CIA, DIA, FBI. Yikes. 296 emails have been made public by the State Department. Intelligence community officials have determined it was improperly released. There are 5 classified emails that were improperly released. Revelations about the emails have put the Clinton campaign in the crosshairs of a broadening inquiry as to whether or not she or her aides mishandled classified information when she used a private server set up at her New York home to conduct official State Department business. It's over right there. You don't get to use a private email server for official State Department business. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's truly, truly unbelievable. Then there's this. The BBC is asking this question. Is it time for Hillary Clinton to panic? Is it time for Hillary Clinton to panic? Maybe. Maybe. Anthony Zerker, the North American reporter for the BBC, says Benghazi, exclamation point. Falling approval ratings, exclamation point. Email gate, exclamation point. Lately, the headlines have been full of gloom for the Democrat frontrunner, Hillary Clinton. I wonder if it's time for her to start panicking. John Zogby, the pollster, Zogby Research, you won't believe what he says. I'll have it for you next. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Sean Hannity believes the establishment GOP is the reason why Donald Trump has risen in the polls.
That's what this has become, a weak and timid and visionless Washington Republican establishment. And it's now hit a tipping point. Dovetails perfectly into an analysis of why you see the meteoric rise of Donald Trump.
The Sean Hannity Show, afternoons at 2, right before Michael Medved at 5 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Listen to Plain Talk, No Worries every Sunday right here at 11 a.m. Rick Foster and Kevin Christ of Guardian Financial Management will talk about retirement planning, identifying the path to your dreams, income planning, creating strategies that work for you, financial management, minimizing your risk along the way. The topic this Sunday Rick and Kevin will discuss is how reducing your risk can get you better returns. Plain Talk, No Worries with Rick Foster and Kevin Christ right here this Sunday at 11 a.m. You don't want to miss it.
This isn't a commercial. It's a gift to anyone who's sick and tired of dealing with their hearing loss. Because we'll give everyone who calls a risk-free trial of a life-changing hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear. Not only that, we'll also give you free shipping and free batteries for life. But you must call now. 1-800-943-2757. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. So if you're sick of dealing with your hearing loss, let us give you a 100% risk-free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-943-2757. That's 1-800-943-2757. 1-800-943-2757.
Honey, I'm really worried about our retirement funds.
Oh, me too. We lost so much value in the recession in the stock market. I'm worried we won't have enough to retire.
Jim next door told me that he had set up a new kind of IRA with the Gold Silver Group. He said how simple and safe it was. It's a private storage IRA, and we could have real gold and silver in our hands.
Really? You mean we can actually see it and touch it?
Absolutely. Jim said we could have all the benefits of an IRA to help build our retirement income. Bottom line, we would own a real tangible asset, and we would have the security of knowing we're protected no matter what the economy does. What do you think?
I think we need to find out how to get our own private storage IRA. We need to call the Gold Silver Group right now.
Are you ready to protect your future? Call 800-296-7609 now to find out how easy and safe it is to set up a private storage IRA with Gold Silver Group, and find out how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. All transactions are privately delivered and fully insured. Please call us now. 800-296-7609. 800-296-7609. You've been thinking about switching to solar. Don't wait much longer or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Move quickly because the tide is turning. Solar power is becoming a threat to big energy profits. In fact, some power companies are even pushing for extra fees to make up for lost revenue. Warning, you must have your solar system up and running by midnight December 31st. Or you'll miss out on this year's federal tax credit. Energy prices are expected to increase by as much as 40% in the near future. Go solar now with no down payment, interest, or payments for a whole year. You can afford it because we finance. Get your government money and save big every month. Big Energy is getting nervous and the door of opportunity is about to slam shut. Paying $150 a month or more on energy bills? Then call 1-800-MY-SOLAR now for a free in-home assessment. 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
My home, my savings, 1-800-MY-SOLAR.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-573-2467. That's 1-800-573-2467. 1-800-573-2467. Or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. The Wells Report, a daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. There are reasons, yes and no, according to the BBC, for Hillary Clinton to panic. Why she should panic? Well, this email gate thing is going to be a danger. Why she shouldn't panic? Hillary is the Teflon candidate. Yeah, she's a survivor. She's been in politics for decades, withstood everything the Republicans have thrown at her. Okay, there you go. Why should she worry? Swing state trouble. A recent Quinnipiac University poll said that she was behind all three top frontrunners in the Republican Party, even though she was the frontrunner in the Democrat Party. Hillary is still on track to get the nomination in early states, but the populace in general simply does not like her, says Mo Lane of Red State Blog. All right? So, should she panic? No, the playing field is tilted towards her. Yes, she should panic because of unfavorability numbers. Yeah. Should you, by any chance, be concerned about whether or not you should go nuts, Ms. Hillary Clinton, panic, if you will, about your campaign? No, because people are kind of liking your mean persona, apparently. Okay, so there you go. The BBC, is it time for Hillary Clinton to panic? Close. I would expect that something is going to happen very, very soon with Hillary Clinton because she's got big troubles. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Joe Biden is president. Happy. This is the Wells Report.
Presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is running as a socialist at the same time that socialist Venezuela is proving to the world again that socialism causes poverty and misery. Socialism is a failed policy. It's time we all learn that. This week we'll talk about that, the Iranian suicide pact, the Jeb Democrats, and the GOP attacks on conservatives. This is Debbie Georgatis, and ladies, can we talk? We talk truth about America and why it matters to you. Tune in every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. on 660 AM, The Answer.
Hi, this is Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report for my good friend Walt Parker. Walter, you know, you picked kind of a silly name for a very serious business.
Yes, I hear that a lot, JD. But our goal is to allow our customers to not get sick when they are investing. We give them the education they need to make confident decisions about their future. Here are my personal...
Say what? Are you mad at him? Are you mad at her for calling you Gigantor? I can't hear you. That's what I am. Are you going to answer the phone? No, you answer the phone. You answer the phone. Here we go. All right, so here we go. Like the swallows returning to Capistrano, like the gray whales like the swallows returning to Capistrano, like the gray whale swimming to Southern California, like the buzzards returning to Cleveland, the Texas grid operators are now crying because they need you to use less electricity. Try this again. There are certain things as perennial as the grass. I can do it. There are certain things as perennial as the grass. The bluebonnets in the spring, the buzzards returning to Capistrano, let me try this again. There are certain things that are as perennial as the spring. The bluebonnets returning. Okay, here we go. What are three things that happen? Okay. All right. And John Garena not being elected to the city council. That's not funny. No. I hope not. Yeah, I know. I was only kidding, everyone. Here we go. There are certain things that you can always depend on. In the springtime, the return of the bluebonnets. In the summer, 108-degree temperatures as far as the eye can see. In the fall and in December, the Dallas Cowboys losing every single one of their games. But There's also something else you can depend on. As soon as it gets hot, the people from ERCOT tell you to stop using electricity because we're going to run out. Oh, which means, of course, they're copping to being incompetent. They're doing it again. I'll tell you why again next time on the Wells Report. Can you do that? Can you do something with that? Mark Davis, good Friday morning, my friend. Thanks very much for letting me have this opportunity to tell people that ERCOT's at it again. They're here to tell us, we just don't have enough electricity. You're going to have to sweat your butt off inside your own house. To which I answer, poppycock. What are they doing? Why don't they get the message? I've been telling them for years that what they need to do is boot up enough generating capacity so that I can be cool in the summertime. Knock it off. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why you should feel this way too. Next time on the Wells Report.
We have a lot of experience to back up what we recommend. Have healthier gardens and more fun gardening. Join me this and every weekend.
Join Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
This week on House Talk Today, we continue our Consumer Report series, Creating the Perfect Kitchen. This Saturday, Part 2, Define Your Style. Countertops, cabinets, sinks, and flooring. Plus, the organic garden segment, and of course, your phone calls. So find a cool spot, tune in, and enjoy a little House Talk Today.
Tune in to House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Debt Relief Advocates now. 1-800-500-8980. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Debt Relief Advocates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-500-8980. That's 1-800-500-8980. 1-800-500-8980.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to urinate? Well, you're not alone. Most men will experience these prostate-related issues in their lifetime. Right now, the manufacturer of GoFlow Prostate is sending out risk-free supplies to the listeners of this station. And since GoFlow was developed by renowned MD Dr. Mitchell Fleischer, its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce frequent nighttime bathroom trips and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait, because supplies are limited. Call 1-800-668-0074. That's 1-800-668-0074 to get your risk-free supply. GoFlow Prostate is guaranteed to reduce your frequent trips to the bathroom and promote healthy urine flow. Plus, if you call right now, you'll even get free shipping with your risk-free supply of GoFlow Prostate. Dial 1-800-667-5138. Don't delay. If the phones are busy, call back. 1-800-667-5138. 1-800-667-5138.
94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University are excited to welcome a Good Fight Night to Frisco. Friday night, August 14th, 2015 at Elevate Life Church. Fight Night is a fun date for couples of any age or stage. Marriage experts, Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, interact with you in a night filled with humor and practical new strategies for turning conflict into deeper relationship. They're actually going to show you how conflict can bring you closer together, because if you're like them, you have the occasional cut and you don't want anything to come from that but a bond between you and your spouse. You're going to leave that evening with some fantastic things you can do starting that very night to improve your relationship. Les and Leslie might share a real fight or two of their own to help each of you. Register at FightNightTexas.com. The truth is, we do have distinct differences, and the more we have empathy for each other, the more grace we have for each other. Friday, August 14th, 2015. For more info, visit ElevateLife.com.
Let's make an offer on that Aspen Street house.
That one doesn't have a home warranty.
Is that a problem?
Not if you like paying through the nose on home system breakdowns.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like if the air conditioner quits, want to pay for a new one? Do you know how to fix the water heater, the plumbing?
Got it. Let's only look at places with home warranties.
A home warranty from American Home Shield protects homeowners against unexpected covered repairs and breakdowns of major home systems and appliances. Who would want to move into a new home without one? Just ask your local real estate professional. Or for complimentary, helpful information about a home warranty from American Home Shield, call now at 1-800-771-2898. Service requests are subject to a fee for each trade call. Some exclusions and limitations apply. An American Home Shield home warranty instantly gives home buyers confidence in their purchase. For complimentary, helpful information, including terms, rates, and coverage, call 1-800-771-2898. 1-800-771-2898.
Well, the reality is that with the Solvent bed, you get a much better bed from the standpoint of quality, durability, at a price that is comparable to any bed out there. Solvent bed has a better warranty. It's a 10-year full warranty. You get a bed that is custom tailored, so you're going to have something that is specifically appropriate for you, how you sleep, your size, your weight. Your primary sleeping position is extremely important in the mix. Solvent European Sleep Systems, Inwood and Lovers in Dallas. Learn more at sovn.com.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Francis Gary Powers was the pilot of a U-2 that in 1961 was shot down over the Soviet Union. He was flying over the Soviet Union in an aircraft that flew so high that it was supposedly impervious to Russian anti-aircraft missiles. They fired this fusillade of missiles, and one of them, I guess, outperformed the others and got him. But what happened after that was airspace was suddenly claimed by every nation on Earth. It's not just the property that they had. Suddenly, they had the air and, oh yeah, the space above their countries. What I'm trying to figure out is, do we, the people of the United States, own the airspace over our houses? Do we? 866-660-5759. Many of us do not own, just to give you a corollary, many of us do not own the mineral rights on the property that we own. In other words, what is it? We only have like an inch depth of the property that we buy, something like that. Somebody else owns the actual mineral rights under it. And just feel free to correct me because I'm kind of new to this. Not the talk radio thing, but the mineral rights thing. I mean, I went to the Dutch Treat Wildcatters one time and I was lost. They're sitting there going, "See, take a look at these wells right here, Wells. See, your last name is what we do." And I went, "What?" Anyway, here's the way this works. The reason I'm asking as to whether or not we have the airspace over our house is because if we don't, we may want to do something about it. In Louisville, Kentucky, a man living in a place called Hillview was arrested after he shot down a drone flying over his property. It happened last Sunday night at a home on Earlywood Way, just south of the intersection between Smith Lane and Mud Lane in Bullitt County. They tell you where things are in Louisville. Hillview police say they were called to the home of 47-year-old William Meredith after someone complained about a firearm. When they arrived, police say Meredith had told him he shot down a drone that was flying over his house. The drone was hit in midair and crashed in a field near Meredith's home. Nice shooting, Tex. Yeah. Police say the owner of the drone claimed he was flying it to get pictures of a friend's house and that the cost of the drone was over $1,800. Meredith was then arrested and charged with first-degree criminal mischief and first-degree wanton endangerment. He was booked into the Bullitt County Detention Center and released on Monday. Sunday afternoon, the kids, my girls, were out on the back deck, and the neighbors were out in their yard, and they come in and said, "Dad, there's a drone out here flying over everybody's yard." Meredith's neighbors saw it too. It was just hovering above our house. It stayed for a few moments, and then she finally waved and it took off. Oh, okie dokie. So what ended up happening is that neighbor Kim Van Meter said that it just took away, and then she said that she had a 16-year-old daughter that lays out by the pool. She said a drone hovering with a camera is creepy and weird. I agree. Do you think you should have privacy in your own backyard? Meredith agreed, then went out to go see for himself. Well, I came out. It was down by the neighbor's house, about 10 feet off the ground, looking under her canopy that they've got under their backyard. I went and got my shotgun, and then I said, I'm not going to do anything unless it's directly over my property. That moment soon arrived. Within a minute or two, here it came, hovering over the top of my property, and I shot this sumbitch right out of the sky. It wasn't long before the drone's owners appeared. Four guys came over to confront me about it, and I happened to be armed, so that changed their minds. They asked me, "Are you the SOB that shot down my drone?" And I said, "Yes, I am that SOB." I had my 40-millimeter Glock on me. They started towards me, and I told them, "If you cross my sidewalk, there's going to be another shooting." A short time later, Meredith said the police arrived. There were some words exchanged there about my weapon, and I was open carry. It was completely legal. Long story short, after that, they took me to jail for wanton endangerment, first degree, and criminal mischief because I had fired the shotgun into the air. Meredith said he was disappointed at the police response. They did not confiscate the drone. They gave the drone back to the individuals. They didn't take the SIM card out of it, but we've got 5 houses here. Everyone saw it. They saw what happened, including the neighbors that were sitting in their patio when he flew down low enough to see under the patio cover. Apparently, Hillview Police Detective Charles McWhirter said you can't fire your gun in the city. Well, we do have a city ordinance against discharging firearms in the city, but the officer made an arrest for a Kentucky revised statute violation, he said. According to the Academy of Model Aeronautics Safety Code, unmanned aircraft like drones may not be flown in a careless or reckless manner and has to be launched at least 100 feet downwind of spectators. The FAA says drones cannot fly over buildings and that shooting them poses a significant safety hazard. Yeah. An unmanned aircraft hit by gunfire could crash, causing damage to persons or property on the ground, or it could collide with other objects in the air, like a shotgun slug. Meredith said he's offering no apologies for what he did. He didn't just fly over. If he had been moving and just kept moving, that would have been one thing, but he came directly over our heads and just hovered there. I felt like I had the right. Do you agree or disagree? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. What would you do if someone flew a drone with a camera on it over your backyard and looked at your 16-year-old daughter? 866-660-5759. I think what I would probably do is I'd try to throw a net over it. But if I had a shotgun, and I do, I think that would probably be the easiest way to take care of the dang thing. Don't you? So it comes down to this. Do you own the airspace over your house? I would say yes. Question number 2. Do you have an expectation of privacy over your backyard or your front yard for that matter, so that somebody with a drone just can't decide to fly over your backyard and take a look at your 16-year-old daughter? I would say, yeah, you have an expectation for privacy. And 3, if someone is obviously spying on you, why can't you shoot the dang thing down? Remember, I asked about this. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. I asked about this. I asked if this was going to happen. And by golly, here it comes. Can you shoot down somebody else's drone? 866-660-5759. I'd try to capture the drone. And then what I would do is I would just confiscate it. Because I happen to believe that I own the airspace over my house. 866-660-5759. What do you think? What do you think, Vic? You're sensible and stuff. I get all glitchy about stuff like this.
If a drone was flying over my backyard?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'd just get a grilled cheese and take my shirt off.
Really?
I know, I just derailed this conversation.
Well, I need to go down and get myself a drone, it looks like.
I was just trying to make fun of your accent. No, I think you should expect, that's your space. That's your area.
Yeah, that's yours. That's right. You've got to have the airspace over your house. Don't you?
We're ready to believe you.
So would you make her that aforementioned grilled cheese sandwich?
You betcha.
You betcha, says Matt Swinney. Magic says, yep. That's right. That's why they call me Magic. I know what it takes to make her clothing disappear.
I'd make it on the grill.
That's right. Magic says he'd make that grilled cheese sandwich right there on the grill. That's right. 866 and everybody. Everybody.
And I'd give him a show too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you wouldn't. We know about that because you wouldn't do what you could have been a millionaire. You would have been a millionaire by now. Millionaire. Anthony in Granbury, Texas. Welcome. Hi.
Hello, Jon-David. How are you?
I am fine, Anthony. So tell me, do we own the airspace over our house?
Well, I think you do if he's only 10 or 15 feet and looking at your daughter. That's for sure.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I think you probably own at least 1,000 feet over your house, don't you think?
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I have property, and I'm thinking about a drone to be able to overview it, but I'm not going to overview somebody else's property.
No, that's spying on somebody. That's like being a peeping Tom.
Yeah, and so I heard a story like this earlier, and I started thinking, okay, when I get home, I'm going to search the net for something that will do the same thing as the device that will disrupt your cell phone communication. In other words, you point something at it, and all of a sudden, the radio signal from the operator can't get through. Kind of like turning on an RC control on the same frequency as somebody standing next to you's aircraft.
Home away from home.
That's what I'd say. And then just take control of it or else disrupt it. I don't know if I'll find something, but that's what I'm going to do. If you shoot a shotgun at something, if you shoot anything, any firearm, you got to know where your rounds are going to go. You can't just be shooting up in the air. You show pictures of people shooting up in the air, most idiotic thing I've ever seen. and so because the bullet always comes down.
Yeah, but it only comes down at terminal velocity. It doesn't come down at the same speed it went up.
Well, okay. Well, tell that to the farmer that was sitting on his tractor, and the round comes down that somebody shot in the air, and one goes through his shoulder.
Well, yeah, but that was a 50 cal round. I remember that story.
And so what I heard was this guy shot number 8 shot.
Yeah.
Which doesn't have a terminal velocity that's able to hurt you.
No, it isn't. I mean, it's like it's like 7.5 shot. It's like it's a bird shot.
Yeah, it's bird shot.
There is nothing. And besides, you can get one of those. You can even get a 12 gauge round that has a net in it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I've seen rubber rounds.
Yeah, you can see rubber rounds, but I'm just saying, what I'm trying to figure out is if somebody flies a drone over my house, I'm going to bring the damn thing down.
Well, think about a potato cannon.
Potato cannon. Yeah, there you go. A potato cannon. Yeah. Yeah, not that anybody was ever arrested for clocking somebody in the side of the head with a spherical potato. 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Hey, this is a bad deal. This is a bad deal here. This guy has a 16-year-old daughter, and somebody's flying a drone over his backyard. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
This week on House Talk Today, we continue our Consumer Report series, Creating the Perfect Kitchen. This Saturday, Part 2, Define Your Style. Countertops, cabinets, sinks, and flooring. Plus, the organic garden segment, and of course, your phone calls. So find a cool spot, tune in, and enjoy a little House Talk Today.
Tune in to House Talk Today, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 3 on 660 AM The Answer.
At Arizona State University, we believe in giving you everything you need to learn to thrive. So it's good to know the experts and college reviewers agree. U.S. News & World Report names ASU the second most innovative school in the country. The Wall Street Journal says ASU is 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates. The esteemed Princeton Review ranks ASU in the top 15% of America's four-year colleges as a leader in undergrad education. This is a university that empowers you to truly thrive. Arizona State University Online gives you the exact same curriculum, identical degree, and access to the same prestigious faculty as on-campus students. You can choose from over 100 degree programs, all enhanced by our innovative online learning technologies. For more information, call 1-800-600-6431. U.S. News & World Report ranked us in the top 10 for earning an online degree. All these high marks should give you confidence in your big plans. Learn to thrive with ASU Online. Call 1-800-600-6431. That's 1-800-600-6431.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had numerous credit cards, and I was struggling with paying them off because being a teacher, you don't make a whole lot of money.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360 to talk to a certified counselor.
I had heard about Trinity, so I made the call. They took care of all of my credit cards, and now I am completely debt-free.
Trinity will consolidate your bills, stop collections calls, stop late fees, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need them to do in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
My name is Ann, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
That's 1-800-758-5360.
Hey, it's Mark Davis. You've heard me talk about it all month. Now it's time. The New Venture on Wall Street seminars in Richardson and Fort Worth, and it's this weekend. So come on, change your financial future. Get into the stock market and do better than people who don't have this training. Who's doing the training? It is Pastor David Mitchell and the New Venture on Wall Street crew, nvows.com. to learn more about how they do what they do. I learned early on that this is just a great method. There are no secrets in life, no magic dust or crystal balls. It's a risky world of investments, but they show you how to be a little smarter, do some of your own research, notice some tendencies, some things that have helped other people retire earlier, get a second income stream. It's just a wonderful group of people. New Venture on Wall Street. Learn about them at nvows.com and then get into the Richardson or Fort Worth seminars this weekend at 877-907-TRADE. 877-907-TRADE. We got a place saved just for you. 877-907-TRADE. NVOWS.com, 877-907-TRADE.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
Dallas Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
Yeehaw! You're listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells, and let's see. I just got a Facebook post from Jason, who said he just bought a house, and they told him that he owns 8 inches from the surface. He owns 8 inches of dirt in his yard. Okay, I wonder how much airspace he owns over the house. 866-660-5759. There's got to be some law about that, right? Because you got a 6-foot fence around your backyard. That's a privacy fence. You should be able, there's an expectation of privacy there. I would like to be able to put up a, say, for example, I'd like to be able to put up what I want to do is I want to create like a second floor on my house and put like a porch out there, right? But I would be able to look in my neighbors' backyards. So what I've got to figure out is, okay, so how do I build that deck back there without compromising their privacy? Don't know what to do on that one yet. All right? So I'll probably end up putting like a porch on the side of my house or something so I can do that. Yeah, that'll be nice. Anyway, but you can't fly a drone over somebody's house. And expect to keep the drone. I mean, really? 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. And apparently, yeah, there are laws about shooting weapons up in the air. That would make sense. But I happen to know about another little piece of law. You ready for this one? Here's another little piece of law that you need to keep in mind, okay? If you have more than 10 acres, or if you have 10 acres, you can have a shooting range on it. So you would be able to shoot up in the air on your own property and have a reasonable expectation that the round is going to come down on your own property. And oh, by the way, if I was shooting at a drone, I would use a shotgun with very small shot, nothing bigger than 7.5. 6 is borderline. 866-660-5759. And what are we going to do when, think about this for just a second. Amazon is really serious about making deliveries with drones. Seriously? How are they going to do that? I got trees in my yard. They're close to the front door. They're really, honestly, going to start making deliveries via drone? I don't think so. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. You're listening to the Wells Report into the night in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Thinking about the drone over your backyard. A guy actually went to jail, spent some time in jail, had to pay money. I wonder if he's going to have to repair the drone. He says he's not going to apologize. I wouldn't apologize. Keep that dang thing away from me. And why doesn't that violate peeping Tom law? 866-660-5759. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM, The Answer.
Bill Bennett's Morning in America.
We asked for a contest. We said maybe to the tune of anything. Quickly to John. Hey, John.
I'll never sing on the air, that's for sure.
Okay, you and me both. Walk like a man as fast as you can. Walk like a man, don't whine. What used to be so large with Hillary in charge is now gone and withered on the vine.
Weekday mornings at 5, right before the Mark Davis Show at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Hey, Kurt Chase here. Buying a car can be a real pain. Walking on the dealership floor, being surrounded by all those hungry salespeople, your blood pressure and stress levels start to rise. And after you spend nearly all day at the dealership and it's all done, you never really feel like you got the best deal. Buying a car is a stressful experience, but it doesn't have to be that way. Tune in to the Automotive Edge radio show every Saturday, and I'll give you the inside scoop on buying your next vehicle. You don't want to miss it every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m.
You just can't get your house to cool down, and your AC, well, it's running nonstop. The AC Service Company says it's running correctly, but it's still too hot. Who you gonna call? Heat Busters! Call 817-422-6868 or visit theheatbusters.com to get a free energy analysis on your home or business. The Heat Busters are experts in radiant barrier, insulation, high-capacity solar attic fans, and more. In Texas, you need more than just an air conditioner. You need an all-over plan. That's where the Heat Busters come in with amazing, affordable solutions to cool your home. They'll seal up those leaks, install solar control window film, and more. When you need more to cool your home, you should call Heat Busters. Call 817-422-6868 today or visit theheatbusters.com to get cool and start keeping more of your money. They bust the heat, they bust the cold, they bust discomfort and outrageous utility bills. Call 817-422-6868 or online at theheatbusters.com.
Hey, it's Mark Davis with something I know you do not want to spend your summer doing. Paying 2 mortgages while only living in one house, or stuck in one house that you can't sell when there's another house right over there across town that you'd love to move into, but you can't. If you're stuck in a home you can't sell and nobody else has been able to sell it for you, let me solve that for you. Josh DeShong, my hero. He sold our home. Josh DeShong and the now famous Josh DeShong home selling team. Here's how he works. Marketing budget like nobody else. Energy like nobody else. Putting your house in front of so many people. You only need one buyer. He will find it. Here's his pledge. You'll sit down with Josh DeShong. Talk about a price and a time frame. If your house does not sell at that agreed upon price in that agreed upon time frame, that's it. Josh DeShong will buy your house. Your house will get sold. That's why his website is getsold.net. Getsold.net. Call Josh today. Get him on your team. 972-325-6644. 972-325-6644 or getsold.net.
94.9 KLTY and Dallas Baptist University are excited to welcome a Good Fight Night to Frisco. Friday night, August 14th, 2015 at Elevate Life Church. Fight Night is a fun date for couples of any age or stage. Marriage experts, Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott, interact with you in a night filled with humor and practical new strategies for turning conflict into deeper relationship. They're actually going to show you how conflict can bring you closer together, because if you're like them, you have the occasional cut and you don't want anything to come from that but a bond between you and your spouse. You're going to leave that evening with some fantastic things you can do starting that very night to improve your relationship. Les and Leslie might share a real fight or two of their own to help each of you. Register at FightNightTexas.com. The truth is, we do have distinct differences, and the more we have empathy for each other, the more grace we have for each other. Friday, August 14th, 2015. For more info, visit ElevateLife.com.
Can you afford to lose 30 to 50% of what you have if there was a stock market crash? If you're retired or retiring soon, it's critical to protect what you have. Don't miss the next free Money Matters Retirement Seminar. Choose 7 p.m. Tuesday, August 4th, Hilton Garden Inn, Fort Worth Medical District, or 1 p.m. or 7 p.m. Thursday, August 6th, the Money Matters Building in Plano. Clients that followed Ken Morav's advice were out of the stock market for 2008. Register now at moneymatters.net. That's moneymatters.net or call 800-994-0302.
You want to feel connected, informed, included, inspired. So when important things happen, we're here. Your local radio and TV broadcasters. America's #1 source for news, weather, and information on your radio, TV, computer, tablet, and smartphone. We are broadcasters, always here for you, wherever here may be. Tell Washington local stations matter by texting radio to 52886. Furnished by NAB and the station. Message and data rates may apply.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Television. I don't know why I said that word. I was like, television. Hit the dumb button so I don't see too late. 866-660-5759. Samsung is doing an advertisement on the television, and I looked up there and just said the word television. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. Hey, it's late. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like I'm losing my flipping mind. If you're going to look at me like I'm losing my flipping mind, you need to look at Jeb Bush because he's losing his flipping mind. Okay, so I have this ridiculous collection of articles having to do with climate change and how we're all going to die. And I also found one today from Jeb Bush. Are you listening? GOP presidential hopeful Jeb Bush says human activity is contributing to climate change and the country has an obligation to work to stop it. This is gobbledygook. The Republican Party needs to understand that if the standard bearer of their party wants to blame the human population for global climate change so they can raise taxes, I'm not voting for him. Okay? I am not going to vote for a politician that believes in this junk science garbage of global warming. Okay? I'm not going to do it. I realize it's 18 months until the election, but I'm going to make this plain. I am not going to vote for anybody that believes that human beings are responsible for climate change. I don't care. So what if human beings are responsible for climate change? Who cares? I want to know how the president of the United States or any collection of presidents of any countries will do anything to stop the warming of this planet. I'm sorry, but the president of the United States is not that powerful. He cannot affect the temperature of the atmosphere. All he can do is affect the temperature of what the journalists are that are writing articles that say whether or not human-caused global warming is stopping or starting or stopping or slowing or speeding up or what have you. This is garbage. I am not interested in a politician who wants to be a weatherman. If Jeb Bush wants to be a weatherman, he needs to run for the presidency of NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, not the presidency of the United States. I think it's appropriate to recognize and invest in the proper research to find solutions over the long haul, but don't be alarmist about it. Of course not. Look, if global warming is such a big dang problem, how do people in Australia survive? They have warmer temperatures than us. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. So I'm on the record now. If Jeb Bush becomes the nominee of the Republican Party and he wants to stick to this stupid idea of human-caused global warming and that we simply have to do something about it, I'm not voting for him. Then there's this. A new study out of the Mexican Institute of Water Technology argues that oscillations in the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth could have a much bigger cooling impact on the climate than previous estimates by climate scientists. Study author Jorge Sanchez Sesma examined solar cycle data going back 100,000 years and compared them to about 25,000 years of surface air temperature data from the Congo River Basin. Sanchez Sesma found that the information from the reconstructions and models indicate a potential continental tropical temperature cooling of 0.5 degrees centigrade for the rest of the 21st century. The sun is cooling off. The earth is going to cool off. Stop it. Unbelievable. It's absolutely ridiculous. Furthermore, by the way, the study argues that varying levels of solar activity explain most of the variation in the Congo River's basin air temperatures during the past centuries. This is important because the river basin is far from the influence of ocean temperatures and people. I mean, when was the last time you were in the Congo River Basin? Jeez. Increasingly, scientists have been looking at the climate implications of short and long-term solar cycles. It's only been in the past 15 years or so that scientists have discovered 6,000 and 2,400-year solar oscillations. Now, amid reports of the sun going blank, sort of like my mind from time to time, television, scientists are predicting solar activity similar to the levels seen during the Little Ice Age from the late Middle Ages to the mid-19th century. Not since cycle 14 peaked in February of 1906 has there been a solar cycle with fewer sunspots. We are currently more than 6 years into solar cycle 24, and the current nearly blank sun may signal the end of the solar maximum phase. Correct. Going back to 1755, there have been only a few solar cycles in the previous 23 that have had a lower number of sunspots during its maximum phase. The sun is cooling off. It's cyclical. Okay? Jeez. By the way, the San Antonio Express-News says that Texas is in the bullseye for climate change-related economic and public health losses. Yeah, Texas will be among the states most severely harmed by temperature increases stemming from heat-trapping greenhouse gas emissions. This according to an updated and expanded report, Risky Business, the Economic Risks of Climate Change to the United States. The report predicts billions of dollars lost in crop and livestock reductions through 2059, a severe drop in labor productivity, and loss of life. It also foresees billions of dollars more will be spent every year on electricity, mainly for air conditioning, and billions in annual real estate damages. Reaction to the report, issued by Risky Business Project and backed by former U.S. Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson, former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and others, was mixed, with some warning the predictions may be too extreme and should not be used to justify sweeping changes. Exactly. Jeez. And speaking of sweeping changes, wind turbines could be forcing native bird populations into declines in the Great Plains. This, according to a government study, raising new concerns about the long-term effects of renewable energy on wildlife. There is no free lunch. Okay? Seriously. These big turbines, these big gigantic ones that you see on the side of the road every now and then as they're trying to figure out a way to get them from one end of Texas to the other, those things are killing bald eagles. Those blades are hitting bald eagles and killing them dead. As a matter of fact, wind turbines have killed more bald eagles in the United States than all human activity combined for the last century. Stupid. The U.S. Geological Survey said just last Monday that wind farms placed in prime wildlife habitat in North and South Dakota can influence the distribution of several species of grassland birds for years after construction. The study, funded by the Geological Survey and the utility firm NextEra Energy, was published in the journal Conservation on Biology on Friday. The type of long-term research done by the agency on the effects of renewable energy on breeding birds' habitat is rare. The agency found that 7 of 9 bird species studied from 2003 to 2012 were placed from areas in North and South Dakota after a wind facility was built. Some of the species fled the area in the first year after construction. Many continued to leave their breeding habitat for up to 5 years after construction, according to the Geological Survey. Displacement typically started 1 year after construction and persisted for at least 2 to 5 years. The study highlights that in many of the bird species displaced by renewable energy facilities are in serious decline in the Great Plains. The Geological Survey says the significantly declining grasshopper sparrow and the bobolink were displaced from suitable breeding habitat in native mixed grass prairies after wind turbine construction. Few species of birds can adapt to wind farms, according to the study. However, one type of bird, the killdeer, was actually attracted to the facilities, although only temporary, according to the study. In other words, they're Kim Kardashian birds. They like fans, but only for a little while. Nothing? Okay. The killdeer was likely drawn to the facilities because it prefers the gravel the turbine pads are resting on. The government agency said other species, the Vesper sparrow, neither displaced or attracted by the turbines. They just ignored them. The other 7 birds studied by the Geological Survey were displaced from prime breeding habitats. Jill Schaefer, an agency scientist, the lead author of the study, suggested the findings will help wind developers and land managers site turbines in areas with minimal impact to birds while striving to meet energy demands, reduce carbon emissions, and provide energy security. Okay. Are you seeing how the politicians and so on and so forth are moving money around the economy based on what is arguably junk science? It's just junk. We decide for whatever reason that windmills are a better source of electricity than, say, for example, a coal-fired nuclear power plant, right? But I haven't heard any birds being displaced by coal-fired power plants. I'm sure they were. But I'm also sure that coal-fired power plants don't have these giant arms swinging around at some speed that will knock a bird stem winding. This is like nuts. People don't think about this. But if you want to build something, if you want to go out and build something like, oh, I don't know, let's say you got to build a road on your property. Chances are the EPA is going to make you come up with an environmental impact study. But they don't have to do it. They can just put up a wind turbine anywhere they want to and start screwing up bird life. Great. What a wonderful idea. What a screwed up country this is. When it comes to energy. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. By the way, the Washington Post has spent the last 2 days and 3 articles over 1,500 words to explain that air conditioning is a sexist plot because sometimes in the summer, women think offices are too cold while men do not. Petula Dvorak, not to be confused with Kimberly Dvorak, Petula Dvorak says, quote, air conditioning is another big sexist plot. Evidently, she drew the attention of one of her male coworkers who was not amused. This male coworker said, oh, yeah? It's another big sexist plot, you say. Well, this one guy in the office wants to hold menopausal women responsible for cold offices. But he's wrong. The real problem is men who dress in suits. Every single woman I talked to in downtown Washington on a hot, humid July afternoon was thawing out. Dvorak initially explained after an investigation into sexist air conditioning, which involved speaking randomly to some people at lunch. Is air conditioning a sexist plot? No, but it may be a bone of contention in the Wells Report, in the Wells house. I'll explain why next. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is running as a socialist at the same time that socialist Venezuela is proving to the world again that socialism causes poverty and misery. Socialism is a failed policy. It's time we all learn that. This week we'll talk about that, the Iranian suicide pact, the Jeb Democrats, and the GOP attacks on conservatives. This is Debbie Georgatis, and ladies, can we talk? We talk truth about America and why it matters to you. Tune in every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. on 660 AM The Answer.
How will the future affect the money decisions you make now? Find out Saturday morning with Jerry Tuma and John Criswell on Smart Money. Smart Money will bring you the latest information regarding financial markets and what it means to you in your investment and retirement portfolio. Not knowing could be costly. Smart Money, a voice of experience and integrity. With Jerry Tuma and John Criswell. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. on The Word, 100.7 FM.
We've been hearing a lot about Uber lately, so we decided to get out there and talk to some actual Uber partners to get our questions answered.
Is signing up to drive with Uber really hard?
Nope, signing up with Uber is super easy.
It was simple and easy. Okay, but can I drive my own car?
Yes. You get to drive your own car.
But my roommate doesn't even have a car. Can she drive with Uber?
They can help her get a car too.
I wouldn't be able to get a vehicle if it wasn't for Uber. It took me less than 6 hours to get a car.
So you could just sign up and earn money.
Sign up, drive, and you make some money.
You're saying I can just use the smartphone app to make money whenever I want?
Yeah, you just open the app whenever you feel like driving.
All I have to do is turn on my phone, hit the road, and I start making money.
Are the hours good?
I work less hours and I make more money.
I'm my own boss now, so I set my own hours.
Okay, this all sounds pretty great. What do you think I should do?
You need to sign up for Uber.
You can make serious life-changing money when you drive with Uber. Get started today at drivewithuber.com. That's drivewithuber.com. drivewithuber.com.
Hi, I'm John Hill, founder of the Good Contractors List, and this is the Good Contractors List Word of the Month. I love a good, encouraging, positive message, but some days there just isn't enough times you can look in the mirror and say to yourself, this is going to be a great day. Some days are just not fun. On those days, you can focus on the problem and start telling yourself that things are never going to get better. Or you can say to yourself, I'm going to wait this storm out. The Bible talks about the armor of God in Ephesians 6. It says, therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you've done everything, to stand. Some days, all we can do is just stand there and face the evil day, knowing that the armor of God is enough. Submit yourself to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. I'm John Hill, founder of the Good Contractors List.
The Word of the Month has been brought to you by thegoodcontractorslist.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had numerous credit cards and I was struggling with paying them off because being a teacher, you don't make a whole lot of money.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360 to talk to a certified counselor.
I had heard about Trinity, so I made the call. They took care of all of my credit cards, and now I am completely debt-free.
Trinity will consolidate your bills, stop collections calls, stop late fees, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
The people at Trinity are very friendly. They will do whatever you need them to do in order for you to feel better about being in a very difficult place.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360.
My name is Ann, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
That's 1-800-758-5360.
Honey, I'm really worried about our retirement funds.
Oh, me too. We lost so much value in the recession in the stock market. I'm worried we won't have enough to retire.
Jim next door told me that he had set up a new kind of IRA with the Gold Silver Group. He said how simple and safe it was. It's a private storage IRA, and we could have real gold and silver in our hands.
Really? You mean we can actually see it and touch it?
Absolutely. Jim said we could have all the benefits of an IRA to help build our retirement income. Bottom line, we would own a real tangible asset, and we would have the security of knowing we're protected no matter what the economy does. What do you think?
I think we need to find out how to get our own private storage IRA. We need to call the Gold Silver Group right now.
Are you ready to protect your future? Call 800-296-7609 now to find out how easy and safe it is to set up a private storage IRA with Gold Silver Group and find out how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. All transactions are privately delivered and fully insured. Please call us now. 800-296-7609. 800-296-7609.
Listen to us live on iHeartRadio, 660 AM. The Answer. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
Is air conditioning a big sexist plot? Washington Post investigation says, yeah, apparently. 64-year-old Ruth Marshall had a hand that felt like a cold steak as she sat on a park bench outside her office recuperating from a Hyperborean office climate. Marshall blamed testosterone-toting people for the mostly frosty air. However, a guy in a Navy suit eating a taco said he felt his office temperature was reasonable. Dvorak then did what any columnist for the Post would do. She contacted Emily's List, a group dedicated to expanding abortion rights. The abortion advocates at Emily's List told Dvorak that their office is too cold and they were unable to control the thermostat in their offices. Well, there's a reason why. And you know what? You know there's a reason why the women in the office are not allowed to touch the thermostat. Magic knows, because women screw it up. I don't know what it is about the thermostat that eludes women. Right? It's silliness. I mean, Matt and I don't let Vicky touch the thermostat around here at all. By the way, what? And it's not sexist. Okay, it's sexist. I can't help it that you don't understand how to run a thermostat. Susan knows how to run thermostats. You know how she knows? She just sets it at 68 and leaves it there. I freeze my butt. So if it's sexist, it's all the women's problem. Except, well, never mind. The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicky Stifer, technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra's Magic Back Swinney. I'm Jon-David Wells. Have a nice night. See you tomorrow for the Friday edition of the Wells Report. Made it.
At Arizona State University, we believe in giving you everything you need to learn to thrive. So it's good to know the experts and college reviewers agree. U.S. News & World Report names ASU the second most innovative school in the country. The Wall Street Journal says ASU is 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates. The esteemed Princeton Review ranks ASU in the top 15% of America's four-year colleges as a leader in undergrad education. This is a university that empowers you to truly thrive. Arizona State University Online gives you the exact same curriculum, identical degree, and access to the same prestigious faculty as on-campus students. You can choose from over 100 degree programs, all enhanced by our innovative online learning technologies. For more information, call 1-800-600-6431. U.S. News & World Report ranked us in the top 10 for earning an online degree. All these high marks should give you confidence in your big plans. Learn to thrive with ASU Online. Call 1-800-600-6431. That's 1-800-600-6431.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to urinate? Well, you're not alone. Most men will experience these prostate-related issues in their lifetime. Right now, the manufacturer of GoFlow Prostate is sending out risk-free supplies to the listeners of this station. And since GoFlow was developed by renowned MD Dr. Mitchell Fleischer, its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce frequent nighttime bathroom trips and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait, because supplies are limited. Call 1-800-668-0074.